Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Tonight, it's the Oakland Raiders versus the Houston Oilers. The Raiders, a team going through some very subtle changes and sparked offensively by the American Football Conference's #1 quarterback after the first 3 weeks of play, 10-year veteran Daryle Lamonica. In the Oilers, the Raiders face a team that's being guided by one of the game's future superstars, quarterback Dan Pastorini. Pastorini, now in only his second year, is the AFC's #3 ranked quarterback. And he's of the game's new breed at that critical position, big, strong, versatile. And ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is brought to you by the Gillette Company, makers of Platinum Plus. We made the first blade, and we're still the first blade. And by Mercury, cars that are built better to ride better. Mercury at the sign of the cat.
Always a fascinating scene, the top of the dome in the Houston Astrodome as we pan down to the gridiron itself, and we're going to have another packed house for a Monday night football game. Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard for still, as I said, another Monday night ABC NFL football game, and we hope to have a lively contest tonight for a couple of very pertinent reasons. First, the Oakland Raiders need this game. They must win it to move into a tie with the vastly improved San Diego Chargers and to be but a half game behind the Western Division leading Kansas City Chiefs in the American Football Conference. And, of course, for the Houston Oilers, new hope, a new coach, and a stunning upset a week ago over the New York Jets. A victory for the Oilers tonight, another upset, would move them into a tie with Cleveland and Pittsburgh in the Central Division of the AFC, just a game behind the Cincinnati Bengals, who lead that division. Again, tonight we'll be bringing you at halftime highlights of the big games yesterday and more stunning NFL upsets. But right now, to tell you in detail about the Oilers as only he can with his Texas corn-pone dandy Don Meredith.
I never said anything ugly about you, Howard. The Houston Oilers do have a lot of new things going for them, and new ideas and new hope. You're terrible, Howard. The new coach, I think, is the big thing here in Houston. Bill Peterson, brought in by the owner, Bud Adams, from the neighboring college of Rice, has a new idea, a new philosophy, and he thinks the guys should have fun. Something else is new is an entirely new offensive line for Dan Pastorini to work from compared to what it was a year ago. This is Pastorini's second year, and as Frank pointed out, as most everyone knows, he has all the equipment. Pastorini is the key tonight. They beat the Jets last week. They have a tough contest tonight. They lost their first two contests, but people in Houston want a winner. They haven't had one in a long time. In fact, the memory of George Blanda stirs most people here. The last time they were winning when George Blanda was the quarterback. So they're welcoming Blanda back in town, and to tell about the rest of the Oakland Raiders besides George is my friend and yours, Paulus Frank.
Don, good to be back in your state. Don talked about the Houston Oilers, and tonight they play an Oakland Raider team, and as Howard alluded to the fact, they're going to have a tough time in their Western Division. They had a tough time last year. They were 8-4-2 on the year, and while a lot of experts maybe have not picked it up, this team has gone through some very subtle changes. Some of the great names you might remember from that Oakland lineup: Carlton Oakes, Ben Davidson, Dan Connors. Of course, Ben Davidson is hurt, but they will not be in that lineup tonight. As a matter of fact, the front four of the Oakland Raiders averages 24 years of age. They are a team that likes to create opportunities, and they feel that youth maybe is the time now, and so that's the way they seem to be going. They have a fine offensive unit. We spoke of Daryle Lamonica, but they have great receivers, and particularly in their big tight end, number 87, Raymond Chester. He is the man that Daryle Lamonica likes to go to when he gets down close to the goal line. Then there is, of course, Fred Biletnikoff, the All-American who played for the Houston Oilers' new coach, Bill Peterson, and of course that was back in Florida State days for Coach Bill Peterson. They are a team, again, that is going to have a tough time in their Western Division, as I mentioned. A tough time because the San Diego Chargers under Harlan Savari is not going to fold this year. They're a good veteran team, and they're going to be there, of course, along with Kansas City. And as Howard also mentioned, the Oakland Raiders must win tonight to stay a half game off the pace of the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you think of the Oakland Raiders, well, you can't help but think of one man, and that would be George Blanda, number 16. He's been playing this game for 23 years. George Blanda, who still does the kicking. George Blanda has is the all-time leading scorer in the National Football League. He has scored over 1,650 points. But more than that, he can still come off the bench at the age of 45 and fill in for Darryl LaMonica when he has to. So we'll be watching for George Blanda tonight. A good game, the Oilers and the Raiders, and we'll be ready for the kickoff right after this message.
Of course you get one button color on Sears 19-inch color TV. But you also get something a lot more important. Come, I'll show you. You get Sears testing for quality. Sears service available nationwide. And most important,
We'll take care of it.
Sears reputation for dependability. With Sears 19-inch color TV, you get a lot more than one button color.
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl. And when you do, we got you. Maybe we'll get you with a white owl mild, or the flavor, or one of our great shapes. But, we're going to get you. You know we're going to get you. Oh, yeah.
Valvoline Motor Oil is the choice of men who care the most about cars. The pros. At Indy, on drag strips, and on road race courses. More professional drivers rely on Valvoline than any other brand. You can rely on Valvoline for your car, too. It's the motor oil for the man who really cares about his car. Valvoline, a product of Ashland Oil, a growing worldwide company.
I'm Floyd Little of the Denver Broncos. Here's what's left of some kid who needed someone to love him. Someone to talk to. Things just never worked out for Leroy. There are kids like Leroy where you live. They need your help. Write to Volunteer, Washington, D.C. 20013. What we need, money can't buy. We need you. The National Center for Voluntary Action.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service on behalf of the National Football League. In the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, the Oakland Raiders assembling on your right. They won the toss. They'll receive the kick from the Houston Oilers. There they are gathering. Number 88 is Bob Moore, a good backup tight end for Raymond Chester, who's had a few problems, but he is expected to start tonight. And stopping deep, number 28 and number 21. Number 28 just activated is the All-American from the University of Southern California, Clarence Davis. And number 21 is Cliff Branch. Cliff Branch, a 9'3 sprinter who attended high school here in Houston, Worthington High School, and was the first Texas schoolboy to run that 9'300. There's Skip Butler in his second year out of Texas at Arlington. And we're about to get underway. Critical game for these Houston Oilers. They can stay close in their Central Division of the American Football Conference, and perhaps even more so for these gentlemen. Clarence Davis on your left, 28. Branch on your right, 21. They're in that tough Western Division of the American Football Conference, and we're about set to get underway. It'll be a short kick that will be taken by Branch, a hometown hero. And Branch over the 20, upset at the 23-yard line. The Oakland Raiders will take over first and 10. Branch dropped by number 32, Ward Walsh. The quarterback, as we have mentioned, Darryl LaMonica opens. He will have his setbacks. Number 23, Charlie Smith, Marv Hubbard, number 44, the fullback. The receivers are Fred Bolitnikoff, number 25, number 87, the tight end, Raymond Chester, and number 49, the All-American rookie from Villanova, Mike Ciani. Both wide receivers move out to the right. Chester, the tight end, at the bottom of your screen. This is Charlie Smith following Hubbard, and he will just get back to the line of scrimmage. Stopped there by number 29, Ken Houston, the all-pro tight safety for the Houston Oilers.
He may be the best strong safety in football. He holds the all-time record for career interceptions returned for touchdowns, 9. He took 4 back for touchdowns last year, a one-season record. A truly superb player, gifted instincts and speed. We'll be talking about him much of the evening.
he immediately has put Darryl LaMonica of the Oakland Raiders in passing trouble. The ball at the 21.5-yard line. Both wide receivers, Siani and Biletnikoff, go right. Siani is in the slot. The tight end, Chester, at the bottom of your screen. LaMonica looking, feeling the pressure, fires out for Hubbard. He can't hold on to it. Back there with Ken Houston in that secondary, a young secondary. Willie Alexander was defending against Marv Hubbard. He's the left cornerback, number 19. John Charles, number 25, is the free safety. And Benny Johnson is the right cornerback. He is number 33. And Zeke Moore, number 22, is also available for the Oilers this evening. At the linebackers, well, you haven't heard a lot about him. You'll hear a lot about him tonight. Number 58, Ron Pritchard, is in the middle. Floyd Rice, number 85, is on one side. Number 90, the great George Webster, on the other. Third down, and call it a long 12. The ball at the 21.5-yard line. LaMonica with the slight roll, the moving pocket. Fires complete to Biletnikoff, over the 40 to the 44-yard line. Down there by number 33, Benny Johnson, but Fred Biletnikoff, the All-Pro, gets the Oakland Raiders out of trouble. 1st and 10, Oakland, just short of the 45-yard line. Mark it at the 44. Look at it again.
You can see it just a wide open in the middle. It was a curl in, Frank. Biletnikoff came in from that slot position on the outside. The moving pocket that you suggested put him almost directly in front of LaMonica.
Again, both wide receivers, Siani and Biletnikoff, go right, and this is Marv Hubbard. Marv Hubbard met and missed at the line of scrimmage by number 85, Floyd Rice, but finally dropped by Leo Brooks, number 73. Brooks, who teams with Tillman at one tackle. Tillman, 78. Pat Holmes, the defensive left end, 79. Elvin Bethea, 65, the defensive right end. 2nd down and 5, a gain of about 5 for Hubbard. The ball now resting at the 49-yard line. Siani now comes out to the left to be met there by Benny Johnson. Going out to the right, Biletnikoff, picked up by Willie Alexander. Fake to Hubbard. The ball goes to Charlie Smith, and he'll be very close to the 1st down. Leo Brooks and Mike Tillman. Tillman, 78, and on the stop.
As they bring in the new football, Frank, you'll remember that in their first 2 games against Denver and Miami, the opposition ran very effectively against Houston's defensive front 4. However, the Jets did not do so. And as you suggested earlier, number 58, as they measure here for the 1st down, Ron Pritchard, will be heard of tonight and often. They've moved him to the middle where he truly belongs. As you see, they're short by that much, and he's truly an extraordinary athlete.
This telecast is presented by authority of the Houston Oilers Football Club. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers Football Club and the National Football League is prohibited. Well, you saw how much Darryl LaMonica needs. His setbacks, 44, Marv Hubbard. Oakland's leading rusher of a year ago. Number 23, Charlie Smith. 49, Smith gets the call. He gets the 1st down and almost has the ball torn away as he moves inside Houston's 45-yard line. Ron Pritchard there to make the stop. 1st down, Oakland.
Charlie Smith, the lad from Utah, was, of course, out most of last season, injured, and his return this year is one area of improvement for Oakland. Of course, Al Davis, the managing partner of the Raiders, whom some contend is really the invisible coach, still moans over the loss of Warren Wells, a great wide receiver. But getting Smith back has to be something he's got to be happy about.
And the 2 fine wide receivers, Siani and Biletnikoff, go right. LaMonica with the play fake. He wants to go deep. Can't find the receiver. Now he's going to have to run. He pulls up. Fires over the arms of Biletnikoff, who is dropped by Kenny Houston.
He was trying to go deep that last play. Frankie had a man he thought was open, but it was good defensive play by the 2 safeties. Ken Houston and John Charles. They both had him covered inside out, you might say. It was Mike Siani, the guy that he had deep for that last play.
Mike Siani, of course, the number 1 pick for the Oakland Raiders, and a great college player at Villanova. 33 touchdowns, and that's only 1 off an NCAA record. Not too fast, but good moves. 2nd down and 10, the ball at the 44.5-yard line of the Houston Oilers. We're just underway in the Astrodome in Houston. The Oilers and the Raiders. The comes Charlie Smith. Out in front is Beeler. Coming up to force the play, Willie Alexander, but Pat Holmes, 79, moved out from his defensive end position to make the stop. Gain of about 2. Call it a long 2. The ball now at the 41. Third down, a passing down.
Pat Holmes is the oldest man on the defensive unit. Once one of the most highly regarded defensive linemen in the old American Football League, and even played in Canada before he joined the Oilers. Some feel he's over the hill, but Peterson and his staff still feel he's effective.
The balanced formation now, third and passing. From this formation, LaMonica likes to go to his tight end, Raymond Chester. The moving pocket. Going for Ciani, but out of bounds. Defended by number 33, Benny Johnson. LaMonica just had to throw it away.
Benny Johnson, by the way, has been one of the most maligned players on the Houston team. Suddenly, last week, he became a hero with a game-saving interception against Joe Willie Namath.
All right, and coming on is the grand old man, number 16, George Blanda, who guided these Houston Oilers to an AFL championship back in 1960. Started his football in 1949 with the Chicago Bears. He's done a little linebacker duty and a little bit of everything else. From the 49, and it won't be close. Taken there by number 25, and that would be John Charles. Charles bringing it back out to the 20-yard line. John Vella made the stop on Charles. So Houston will have their first opportunity. Dan Pastorini opens at quarterback, the second-year man out of Santa Clara. Willie Rogers, one setback. He's 34. The rookie from Kentucky State, so effective a week ago against the Jets. Hoyle Granger, the other setback. He's number 30. Charlie Joyner, 18, one wide receiver. Ken Burrow, 00, the other wide receiver. Alvin Reed, 89, is the tight end. Pastorini on the very first play, and he gives it off this time to Rogers. Rogers looked like he was going to break, but nailed there by Tony Klein, number 85. Tony Klein, the defensive left end. Art Toms, left tackle, and number 80. Otis Sistrunk, the right tackle, number 60. Horace Jones, 82, the right defensive end.
Some of the inside stories on these players and how they're obtained are very interesting. Houston and Denver and the New York Jets are in a scouting combine. The Jets considered drafting Willie Rogers and felt that he wasn't quick enough mentally to suit their purposes. So Willie turned around and handed it to the Jets last week.
And he did. 68 yards rushing against that Jets defensive unit. Number 15, Al Johnson, who shuffles along with Granger and Rogers, bringing the plays in. Bill Peterson, the coach, calls all the offensive plays for the Oilers. Now, out goes Al Johnson, and in comes Willie Rogers. All right, Joyner and Burrows both move out to the left. Third down at about 6. The ball at the 25-yard line, just short of the 25. Pastorini looking to throw. In and out of the hands of Joyner. And back there defending, as he has for so many years, number 48, Nehemiah Wilson.
The ball was there. Joyner just missed it. You'll see a turn in. Pastorini's, one of his main strong points is his ability to rifle that ball. And he had that one right in the hands. Coach Peterson last night said that one of his problems a year ago that caused a lot of his interceptions and on turn-ins like this, he was a little hesitant. He's not hesitant this year.
Okay, Dan Pastorini getting set to punt to Atkinson, 43, Branch, 21. High kick. It's a good bounce. Pastorini, with a 47-yard average coming into tonight's game, gets off a beauty. 53-yard punt. So no score in the early going of the first quarter. The Oakland Raiders and the Houston Oilers, and we'll be back at the Astrodome right after this message.
Why had he sent for me? I had a strange feeling I would soon find out.
Bonsoir, monsieur. Je vous attendais.
Un nouveau
nageur?
Oui, skidol tacto, c'est pourquoi je vous ai fait venir.
Pourquoi moi?
Parce que vous êtes le plus grand joueur du monde de skidol.
Ah, merci. J'ai plein de Léo. Si je gagne, combien?
Tout ce que vous voudrez.
Un crayon jaune.
Un crayon jaune, c'est tout?
Disons, une boîte de crayons bleus.
Mais pourquoi demander si peu?
Because I only took 1 year of French in high school. Skittle Tacto by Aurora, where fun is the name of the game.
You could say that thus far, Monday Night Football has brought a little luck to the Raiders. We'll have them later in the year when they go up against the New York Jets. But tonight is the Houston Oilers, and a Houston Oiler team that certainly surprised the New York Jets last week, and surprised, I think, even themselves. The Oilers, 1st and 10. They'll move from their own 22-yard line. This is Darryl LaMonica. The handoff goes to Marv Hubbard. Hubbard over the 25 to the 27, stopped by Elvin Bethea. And number 58, Ron Pritchard. Marv Hubbard, quite a story with this young man. Came up to the Raiders, couldn't make it a couple years ago, went back and led the Atlantic Coast Conference at Hartford in rushing, came back and made it big last year. 2nd down and 3. Ball at the 28-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Hubbard again. Hubbard driving over the 35 to the 36. Bethea there, number 65.
Is definitely the workhorse of the Oakland backfield. Frank, last year he carried the ball a little over 180 times. His longest run was 20 yards. It tells a couple of things, that he pounds out a lot of short yardage. He's not really a breakaway runner, but he's very consistent. He's the guy they call on to get that necessary yardage when they need it.
And he gets the 1st down at the 36-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. This is Charlie Smith behind the blocking of Marv Hubbard. He moves over the 40 to the 42, and the Raiders consistently grinding out yardage. And again, Ron Pritchard, number 58. 4 years out of Arizona State is Ron Pritchard. We saw him a year ago, Howard, as you recall, as an outside linebacker.
He was the #1 draft choice a few years back when Don Klosterman was the general manager here. Don always intended him to play in the middle. At that time, Garland Boyette was playing in the middle. He's a second stringer now.
Okay, 2nd down and 3. The ball at the 42-yard line of the Raiders. Here comes Charlie Smith breaking to the outside. And Pritchard again makes the stop, but it'll be close to the 1st down. Ken Houston, 29, also coming up. Very close to the 1st down. Don mentioned that Charlie Smith had some injury problems. He broke his arm a couple of years ago, and prior to that he had gained over 500 yards in every season. And he re-injured that same arm last year. But he's back and healthy. He's not only a good runner, he's a good receiver. All right, we see Bob Moore, number 88, coming in on the short yardage offense for the Oakland Raiders. Out comes Mike Ciani.
Bob Moore is going to be heard from a lot in his career. He's a first-rate athlete. In fact, the Raiders toyed with the idea of making Raymond Chester a running back so they could get more into the lineup and avail themselves of 2 tremendous young talents. They changed their mind, though, because they've got so many good running backs to begin with.
They're both in there now. Bob Moore and Raymond Chester, the bottom of your screen. 3rd down and about a foot. The ball at the 46-yard line of the Raiders. And here comes Marv Hubbard. He'll have the 1st down. Met there by the middle of the Houston line. Headed by 65, Elvin Bethea.
As Frank said, he's got the 1st down. And talking about the possibility of making Raymond Chester a running back, Oakland's got a history of doing that with tight ends, Dandy. You know, they did it with Hewitt Dixon.
Billy Cannon.
Yep.
Right.
Raymond Chester, 6'3" and 225 pounds. And we'll see him very shortly. I am very sure of that. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 42-yard line. Monica firing for Biletnikoff. Willie Alexander up enough to make the stop, but Biletnikoff finding the big holes in that zone.
He is a cutie. The three of us had dinner with Bill Peterson last night, and we were kidding Bill, the Houston coach. We said nobody in the country can know as much about Biletnikoff as you, Bill. You had him in college. He said, well, I could never believe the catches he made there. And then he proceeded to tell us the freakish way in which he got him at Florida State, because Fred was an Erie high school lad in Erie, Pennsylvania, and somebody wrote a letter about him to the Florida State Physical Education Department.
And now Cliff Branch, number 21, the rookie from Colorado, is in replacing Mike Ciani. This is Charlie Smith breaking tackles, moving inside the 30.
What did the physical education department do?
They brought the letter, since you've brought it up, so we can finish the story. They brought the letter to Peterson. He said, well, let's take a look at the boy. Let's get some film footage. He said, I looked at the footage of the lad in the high school game, and all he did was score 7 touchdowns in one game. Next thing you know, he was at Florida State.
And 4 years later, signing a contract with Al Davis.
Right on the field. Gator Bowl.
Ball at the 30, second down and 4. Branch out left. This is Charlie Smith. Oh, and a fine tackle, and who could it be but number 29, Kenny Houston, coming up, reading the tight end, blocking down, and up he came to make the tackle, actually behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a good point. How he got there, Frank. He plays defensive safety, and he made the tackle. Actually, he hit him behind the line of scrimmage. And the defensive backs, well, all the defensive people do try to key on certain offensive maneuvers, and the tight end is the man that the strong safety generally keys on. He was blocking down on the defensive end and linebacker, which enabled him to come up in the backfield.
Third down, a long 2. The ball at the 28 of the Houston Oilers. The Raiders moving. Monic on 3rd and 2. Dropping the pass. Bethea gets it first. And coming in to nail him is Mike Tilleman. But Elvin Bethea really put the pressure on LaMonica. Breaking the block of Art Shell was Elvin Bethea.
Elvin Bethea, number 65. We are peppering you with information tonight about these Houston players, because Houston's players, quite frankly, don't get the big publicity that often. They haven't had that many national appearances. But Elvin Bethea is a player of absolute excellence, and everybody in the National Football League knows it. One of the best in the league at his position.
Speaking of excellence, George Blanda tries from the 41-yard line. He'll be close. It's good. 41 yards for, well, the ancient George Blanda, but he's still a kid. So the Oakland Raiders out in front of the Houston Oilers 3-0. We'll be back after this message.
5 of the finest cars in America are the 1973 Continentals. We previewed them for these men and women who last May judged the ride test between the 72 Continental and the other 72 luxury car. These judges all owned the other luxury car. Yet 60 out of 100 of them picked the Continental over their own make of car. Let us show you our 73s as they saw them. Our Lincoln Continental 4-door sedan and coupe, designed for an even more comfortable ride than our 72. Our 73 Lincoln Continental town cars, the sedan, the Newtown coupe. The 1973 Continental Mark IV, newly minted in silver. Introducing the 1973 Continentals. It is a very good year.
Well, how about that? Even in the Astrodome. Don, you got top billing, I can say that.
Well,
home down.
That's a whole group of folks that flew in from Oakland. That's one section of Oakland Raider boosters, and you actually don't see that too often in professional football, but they've got the pom-pom girls down there, and a lot of the black and, black and silver, I guess, are their colors. It's got to be 100 or so.
And this is Jerry DePoyster getting ready to kick deep. Number 21 to run it back for the Houston Oilers is Lindsey Cole. Number 34 is Willie Rogers. This one will, well, it does not go out of bounds. It goes into the end zone. Taken there by Willie Rogers. Touchback Houston. Willie Rogers, the rookie from Kentucky State. NCAA college football continues this Saturday on ABC with 3 telecasts. The majority of the nation will see Texas, Oklahoma, while we'll also be telecasting Arizona, New Mexico, and Citadel and East Carolina, where a good friend of yours and mine, Don, Sonny Randall, is coaching. He has an undefeated team there, as a matter of fact. That's Citadel and East Carolina. You can check your local listings for the time of the game of your area. Dan Pastorini brings up the Houston Oilers. First and 10, they'll move from the 20. Here comes a draw play. Hoyle Granger with a big hole. To the outside, first down, Granger.
Interesting to see Granger back here in the Astrodome, where he's always been a favorite. They got him out of Mississippi State. He's never had the speed. He's never been much more than a journeyman back. Yet he's always been an outstanding blocker. They traded him to New Orleans. New Orleans cut him. It looked like his career was over. Back here he came, and he's doing a good job blocking. And in a situation like that, while a faster man would have gained more, Hoyle still knew where the hole was and got to it as quickly as possible.
There he is, number 30. Team right now with 34, Willie Rogers. Out to the right, 00 is Ken Barrow. First and 10, the ball at the 33-yard line of the Houston Oilers. This time we go nowhere. Hoyle Granger stopped there by number 80, Art Toms. Talked about that front four of the Oakland Raiders. Tom's 25 years old. Tony Klein, 84. The left end is 24 years old. Horace Jones, the right end, is only 23 years old. Sistrunk didn't even go to college. Otis Sistrunk, number 60. He's 25 years old.
And he's a great story, which we'll develop later, Frank, the way the Raiders got him.
All right, second down and 10. The ball at the 33-yard line of the Oilers. They trail the Oakland Raiders 3-0. 2:11 remaining in the first quarter. And action on the right side. Were they drawn off, or did they just jump? Flag is down. Willie Brown, number 24, the great all-pro cornerback, comes in. Obviously, the Raiders were drawn offside. Illegal procedure indicated. Jack Tatum is also in that secondary. He's the free safety. A number 1 pick of a year ago, All-American from Ohio State. He's number 31. We've talked about George Atkinson, number 43. He's the strong safety. Nehemiah Wilson, maybe the smallest cornerback around, at 6 foot and 180 pounds. He's number 48. And they will right now anticipate the passing of Dan Pastorini. Second down and 15, the ball at the 27. Pastorini fires it. Willie Rogers dropped it, and, well, Tatum couldn't hold on to it.
That's a 0-0.
And I point this out. We talked about it a little bit last week, watching young John Reeves of Philadelphia throw. Both of these guys, Reeves, Pastorini, a lot of young quarterbacks have got good, strong arms. He really rifled that ball. I'm not saying it was not catchable, but the ball was thrown hard. You saw it bounce off the shoulder pad and actually should have been intercepted. One of the things that the young quarterbacks really have to learn is a matter of touch or feel of how hard to throw that ball in the different areas.
Well, that's so hard that Tatum couldn't handle the rebound. Third and 15 out in the 28. The ball will go in the air again. Burrows out left, Joyner to the right. And off the mark. The mark was number 89, Alvin Reed. Bill Peterson on the sidelines. We'll now have to put his punting unit back into the ball game.
Dan is not yet throwing well tonight, Dandy. It's evident. He's got great receivers. The problem with the pass to Joyner earlier that Charlie missed was the fact that it was thrown too hard, too, in my opinion. Charlie Joyner, in the opinion of most, has the capacity to be another Paul Warfield. Alvin Reed is a fine tight end. And, of course, Kenny Burrow, 00, has come into his own here with Houston.
On your left, George Atkinson, 43-21, the rookie Cliff Branch. Great speed and almost blocked. Pastorini had to hurry. Fair catch. Atkinson bobbles the ball. I believe it was picked off in the air by Willie Rogers.
He's got it. There goes Willie.
It's Mark. Mark back at the 42-yard line.
Well, maybe some of the guys in that scouting combine didn't find Willie bright enough, but Willie was right there then.
Well, the referee's saying bring it back. We can be assured of a couple of things.
get a close look at this reasoning, Frank. We've seen a number of things happening this year.
What they're saying is he cannot advance it in the air.
Oakland's always involved in some kind of decision or other, and Al Davis is always one of the biggest complainers about officials. He's the guy who got the break on the Jack Tatum 104-yard run that Mark Duncan of the league office later admitted the officials had blown, and that was the play that gave Oakland its victory over Green Bay.
We've got to get an official ruling on this one because I don't understand that either.
I don't.
1st and 10, the Oilers. Pastorini, screen, fakes one way, comes back the other way. Granger to the 25. Stopped there by number 60, Otis Sistrunk.
All right, we'll take a look at this. Is the punt from a while ago. You see a fair catch. It hits. He catches it in the air. Now, I don't know the rule on that. I'll just be really honest.
I'll be very honest, I don't either.
It looks like to me he ought to be able to run with it. It's a fumble that you catch in the air, but evidently it has something to do with the fair catch.
All right, we will get you the official ruling. The ball now, 1st and 10 for the Oilers. They're at the 25-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. They trail 3-0. Time running out of the first quarter. Comes Willie Rogers. Met there by Nehemiah Wilson. Gain of about 3 yards for Willie Rogers.
This Houston team is not uninteresting. They're a decided underdog. They figure to be. They don't figure to win this game. But they've got interesting spots of strength. As we've pointed out, they've got excellent linebacking strength. We'll be talking later about a youngster named Floyd Rice at the corner who has a chance to become a superstar. Good defensive secondary and certain offensive values, especially in the receivers we've discussed in young Pastorini.
2nd down, a long 7, the ball at the 23-yard line. Pastorini back, looking to his tight end, Alvin Reed, and in and out of the hands. And Pastorini is not settled down yet. The Oilers are a team, though, that is not a first-quarter team that we'll talk about in a moment. Let's look at it again. Atkinson, the Oilers giving him room to handle the ball, and that's all is required on a fair catch. Willie Rogers taking it in the air and return the ball all the way to the 25-yard line, where right now it's 3rd down, 7 yards. Out to the left goes Kenny Burroughs, picked up there by Willie Brown. On the right side, Alvin Reed, the tight end, in this passing situation. Both backs circling out. And just in and out of the hands of George Atkinson, and believe me, Granger was really lassoed as he came around the end.
Alvin Reed is really putting on a storm here. Watch number 89. He complained to the officials to no avail.
Look at
that.
That's what you call an infraction.
I don't blame him for complaining.
You know the ruling on that, don't you, Don?
Yeah, I do. That's an infraction. That's what you call that one. They missed one.
Well, they can't see everything. Skip Butler on for the placement. He'll kick from about the 28.5-yard line, and let's get the official call here. The legal procedure, the Houston Oilers. So that will lengthen the field goal attempt of Skip Butler.
Let's watch the Skip Butler kick very closely, Don. He kicked 4 against the Jets. There had always been a rap against him on his field goal kicking, that he kicked too low, that he was too easy to block against. Jim didn't find that true last week, Giff.
All right, Kent Nix to hold. The ball now at the 33.5-yard mark. And again, an Oakland Raider, I believe, crosses the line of scrimmage this time. And while they figure this one out, we will tell you the official rule. You cannot advance a fumble punt in the air or on the ground. It's called a muff, as a matter of fact.
Huh. Why is that different, I wonder, from just a fumble from the line of scrimmage? Just need no rule for that one, huh? It's just because it's a punt, Frank? Is that what it is?
A punt, and when it's fumble, it's called a muff. You cannot advance.
Hard to advance those muffs.
Let's don't get into section A, B, and C of it.
Okay. Well, we got some more mixed up down here. Let's see what else is happening. He's waving at us. Somebody didn't take something. I guarantee whatever that one was, they didn't handle it.
I think illegal procedure ruled against both ball clubs, but
Yeah, let's call it that.
I can guarantee you the arms of referee Bob Frederick are exhausted.
Let's look at the coaches. Here we go again. One more time.
Now they got it worked out.
It's fourth down. I caught that.
All right, we'll set it for you again. Fourth down, the ball at the 21.5-yard mark. Skip Butler is on for the field goal attempt. The third attempt, that is. Kent Nix, the backup quarterback, to do the holding. A fake. Kent Nix is a quarterback. And that pass is incomplete.
Well, that'll produce some interesting repercussions here.
It certainly fooled not one Oakland Raider. So the Raiders stay out in front 3-0. We'll be back after this message.
Hi, Hank. Shaving close for your big close-up, huh?
Yep.
Well, don't cut yourself.
Sam, I don't have to cut myself to shave close. This is the Track 2, the two-bladed razor from Gillette. The blades are recessed, so it's safer.
Recessed? Then how come it shaves so close?
Because when the first blade shaves your whisker, it stretches it out from the skin. And before it can snap all the way back, the second blade can shave it again, closer.
What if I went back again with my one-blade razor?
The whisker snaps back too fast.
Gee, that's a great shave.
And that's not even my good side.
The Gillette Track 2, the two-bladed razor.
Ron Mize, Wethead. Ron Mize, the Dry Look. Jeff Edmond, Wethead. Jeff Edmond, the Dry Look. Have you tried the Dry Look? The aerosol hair control from Gillette. It's turned a lot of heads.
So a fake field goal attempt by the Houston Oilers goes awry. They trail the Oakland Raiders with 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter, 3-0. Oakland, first and 10. They'll move from their own 21-yard line. Darryl LaMonica all the way as the quarterback. Looking for Ciani, and is deflected, knocked away. Number 78, Big Mike Tilleman in there, along with Elvin Bethea.
Going back to that fake field goal attempt, Frank, Bill Peterson, you may not agree with that call. I personally don't. But you've got to give him credit for a lot of guts. He's desperate to make good here. He had a sinecure job at Rice University, a long-term contract. He was always a gambler at Florida State. He played the pro-style offense there. And he knows that he risks immediate disfavor with these fans who so want a winner when he makes a call like that and it doesn't work.
And he's also aware in 12 years the Oilers have had 6 coaches. Second and 10. In and out of the hands of Charlie Smith.
Actually, Giff, in 12 years, there have been 8. Lou Ripkus, Wally Lem, Sammy Baugh, Bones Taylor, Frank Ivy, Wally Lem again, your friend, the old giant Ed Hughes, and now Bill Peterson. And I guess you could, well, it depends on how you treat Lem in his 2 tenures. You could treat with him as another Grover Cleveland, serving 2 separate terms and count him twice, or just count him once. I'll leave it to so great a historian as Dandy Dunn to determine.
Well, I will count him twice.
Well, the bottom line is it's a little hazardous here. Third down and 10. The ball at the 21-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. The setbacks, Charlie Smith, 23, Marv Hubbard, 44. Shanny left, Bolitnikoff right. Flags go down. Illegal procedure as we have a very excited official pointing at one of the Oakland Raiders.
It's an attempt to justify our existence. Everybody has to be somewhere.
It'll be marched off against Oakland, the illegal procedure. Third down and 15. Ball resting just over the 19-yard line now.
Well, as the first quarter is about to expire, the Raiders have hardly been impressive.
Hardly.
They lead 3-0 as Darryl LaMonica puts Ciani out to the left, picked up there by Benny Johnson. Out to the right goes Bolitnikoff, the man he's been going to, the fake draw. He can run, but he's in trouble. In and out of the hands of Ciani. And it could be that he might have heard number 33, Benny Johnson, bearing down.
a hardball thrower, too. We talked about Pastorini earlier, but that was one of the raps that's laid on him before.
That's the end of the first quarter. The Raiders out in front on a 46-yard George Blanda field goal, 3-0. We'll be back after this message.
To get the riding comfort of a big luxury car like this one, but in a smaller, easy-to-handle size, you'd have to redesign it yourself. Not anymore. Now Lincoln Mercury's done it for you. Mercury Montego MX Brougham. About a foot trimmer than most big cars. A personal-sized car with the ride of a big car. Mercury Montego. Built better to ride better. At the sign of the cat.
I'm Joe Namath, and there's nothing I enjoy more than hot buttered popcorn. And nothing makes better hot buttered popcorn than the Hamilton Beach Butter Up Popper. It's the original automatic self-buttering popper. You just put the butter here, and you get the greatest hot buttered popcorn you ever tasted. And that's not all. You can get one of my autographed footballs, too. Get the details of this special offer at your store.
Just tell him Joe sent you.
The Butter Up Popper from the Hamilton Beach Scoville World of Appliances.
I'm Ron Billingsley of the Houston Oilers. You know, I got to work pretty hard to make the headlines. But for some kids, it's easy. We know lots of kids that can still use your help. Before it's too late, write to volunteer. Washington, D.C., 20013. What we need, money can't buy. We need you, the National Center for Voluntary Action.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service on behalf of the National Football League. Jerry DePoister to punt for Oakland. The single safety for Houston is Ken Houston. Oh, and the rush, and it's blocked, but a flag is down. Houston blocks the punt, but a flag is down. The flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Number 91, Greg Sampson, was in to recover the fumble, but let's wait and see. Holding against Oakland, Houston's ball.
All right, we'll take a look at it. Several guys got in on that one. That's 32, it looks to me. Ward Walsh, 32, Ward Walsh. They had the all-out rush on. 91 picked it up. Sampson, he could have picked that thing up and gone in now, could he, Brick? That's a blocked punt.
That he could have.
Yeah, but he didn't.
But he didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
He's just happy to have it. The rookie from Stanford. The Oilers in great field position at the 2-yard line. First and goal. Pastorini gives the ball, or rather fakes the ball to Rogers. He wants to run himself. He goes nowhere. Phil Filippiano.
He had Burroughs in the corner with nobody within 5-7 yards from him.
You're absolutely right, but he's a youngster who likes to run with the ball, as everybody knows. In fact, he reminds many of Bob Waterfield in his build, in his style, in everything he does, including the fact that he's a fine punter, as we've already discussed, and an excellent place kicker.
Look back in the back of that end zone.
0-0, all alone, screaming for it. No hope, Kenny. He wasn't going to give the ball away.
Good.
Bill Peterson's not happy about that either, Giff.
Okay, I know how the receiver feels. Pastorini brings him up. Second down now. Sets the same formation opposite. This time again with the fake draw. And in trouble, and he's dumped. Coming in there hard was number 34, the old pro, Gus Otto, and he made the play on one side. On first down, it was Phil Villapiano, number 41, who made the play against Pastorini.
What a vivid evidence on 2 consecutive plays of the problems of young quarterbacks suffering from inexperience. In his whole career, Dandy Don Meredith was guilty of that so often.
Hey, an old quarterback would have had a problem getting away from Gus Otto.
Thank you, Frank. You're a nice man, Frank. Howard.
Ken Burrow goes out to the right. Pastorini will have to put the ball in the air. Burrow has the wide side of the field. Charlie Joyner is on the left side. Going for Joyner. It'll be out of play. Pastorini, well, up set. He did, as you saw, have Kinborough wide open in the end zone. Now they're going to have to settle for the field goal attempt.
And the fans register their disapproval vocally.
Fourth down, the ball at the 17-yard line. Skip Butler will be kicking from the 29. And this is blocked.
That's the block I talked about, the wrap against him.
Number 48 comes up with the football, Nehemiah Wilson.
Take a look at it. Was it low? It was a little low, but there's also a pretty good break in that line up there. They came up in the middle, so they didn't get a good block up the front.
All right, some weird happenings, but the Oakland Raiders lead 3-0. We'll be back after this message.
Whereas the party of the first part having elected to go and
if you need more than words, you need more than a pen. You need flair. Flair writes feeling. Flair writes ideas. Flair writes colors. Flair writes music. Flair writes emotion. Flair even writes pictures. Man does not live by words alone. Man needs flair. In 12 very human colors.
No matter whose steel-belted radio commercial you see, there'll probably be a demonstration of superior handling characteristics. They'll tell you how steel-belted radials make so great a difference you can actually feel it. Feel how they hug the road on sharp turns and at high speeds. So with everybody telling you similar things, which brand you buy? Well, only Uniroyal can tell you this. Worldwide, we've been selling steel-belted radials 10 years longer than any other American tire company.
A few moments ago, this field goal attempt by Skip Butler was blocked. Coming up in the middle was big number 80 for the Oakland Raiders. That would be Art Toms, the defensive tackle. So Oakland takes over. 1st and 10. They'll move from their 5-yard line. They've gained 75 yards. The Oilers have gained 24. Darryl Lamonica at quarterback. Bolitnikov is to the right. This is Marv Hubbard. Hubbard moving across the left side behind a good offensive line. Jim Otto's the center, double O. Number 64, it's George Peeler is the right guard. Gene Upshaw, the left guard, 63. Art Shell, 78, is one tackle, the left tackle. And Bob Brown, 76, perhaps, and many think so, the best offensive tackle, at least in terms of pass blocking there is in football.
Certainly physically, he's the best qualified in all of football to hold off any defensive end.
The ball at the 12. It goes again to Hubbard. Straight wedge blocking up the middle. Will be close to the first down. Leo Brooks, 73. Mike Tilleman, 78 to make the stop. 12:45 remains in the first half. The Oakland Raiders have been moving the football, but they too have been a bit lifeless. First down, Oakland. Oakland now with 6 first downs. Houston with 2. And big number 77 on the bench. Council Rudolph. All right, from the 16-yard line. Flooding both backs to the right. Looking over the middle. Did Chester hold on to it?
I think he got it over first bounce.
Charlie Smith, coming out of the backfield. And again, Ron Pritchard back there with him.
That ball was just not thrown very well either, Frank. Darrell rolled out a little bit to the right, sent Smith out of the backfield on a quick little turn-in. I guess they're trying to flood zones. Coach Peterson mentioned that he felt that the secondary would get a workout, and on occasions they try to double cover both outside receivers, and he has done that a few times tonight with his halfback and his safety. So it looks like Darrell's trying to work the halfbacks in the middle. He just missed him when he had him open.
The sprinter stance of Bob Brown, the right tackle, on 2nd down and 10.
There you got it.
Ciani. And Ciani will be short of the first down, catching the ball at about the 21, where motion will be called, and the Houston Oilers fans do not like it. LaMonica now 3 of 10 While his counterpart, Pastorini, has completed only one pass, and that was a screen pass.
LaMonica has twice consecutively gone to the air, deep in his own territory. He's only 3 of 10. As Don says, he's not been throwing well. And yet, when the Raiders have moved the football, they've done it on the ground and done it with apparent ease. Through the years, Darrell's always faced second-guessing out in the Bay Area for his play selection. And one has to give some second pause to it now.
Right now, third down, less than a yard for the Oakland Raiders. They're at their own 26-yard line. Charlie Smith gets the call. He gets the first down up to the 30-yard line. Mike Tilleman there to make the stop, big number 78. Next week is Drug Abuse Prevention Week. For information on how you can help in this vital national effort, please write to Drug Abuse Prevention Week. That's Box 1904, Rockville, Maryland, zip code 20852. Charlie Smith gets the first down. The Raiders moving from their own 30. A little over 11 minutes remaining in the first half. The Raiders out in front, 3-0. Charlie Smith again. Another Biletnikoff. Fred Biletnikoff, and hit by Willie Alexander.
Well, he continues to throw, and right now it's working for him.
He had one-on-one coverage on this side. You saw he did send Smith out of the backfield, which brought Webster, the linebacker, out with him. He curled him back in. You see Biletnikoff, 25, will come out. He's going to run just a turn in or a curl. And hopefully right in front of him, as he catches the ball, you'll see that Webster, number 90, the linebacker, been brought out of his position by Smith, who came out of the backfield.
First and 10 from the 44. Marv Hubbard gets the call. Clarence Davis has checked in as one setback. Cliff Branch is in as a wide receiver. Davis 28, Branch 21. Gain of about 4 yards.
You realize, Frank, that the Raiders are carrying 6 running backs?
That's a lot of running backs.
That's
a lot
unusual.
It is unusual. Hey, I've known Darrell LaMonica for a long time, and he likes to throw the bomb.
Yep.
And he has one of the great speedsters, the top of your screen, Cliff Branch. Right now, he has a second down and 7. Here comes Clarence Davis. Davis over the 50 to the 48-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Run out of bounds by Pritchard.
Davis is a potential breakaway runner that Oakland seems to need. They have not really had an effective breakaway runner, a guy with the speed and enough size to split through the line and outrun the secondary.
Don, you notice those shoulder pads on Davis? Well, he had a fractured bone in his shoulder about 7 weeks ago.
Coaching staff says they feel they can spot play him. They don't feel that he's really regular for continuous play.
Third down and 2. The Raiders moving now from the Houston Oilers' 48-yard line. Both backs coming out of the backfield. LaMonica rushed. Gets it off to Branch. He drops the football. This is Kenny Houston. Kenny Houston, the all-pro safety, picked up that ball, dropped by Cliff Branch.
Why is this night different from any other night or any other Sunday afternoon? Kenny Houston with a nose for the football. Somehow he's always there.
So the Houston Oilers with good field position, and we'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
This is the Conway County, Arkansas Volunteer Fire Department, organized by Metropolitan Life salesman David Brewer. Why didn't Dave just stick to providing life insurance? Because he thought the county also needed a fire department. You'll like doing business with metropolitan people like Dave Brewer.
Don't know how to thank you, Dave. Your boys like a couple of chickens.
At Metropolitan, we sell life insurance, but our business is life.
Well, Mr. Baxter, how's the new car?
Fine, Gus. Fill it up with low-cost Gulftane, will you?
Right. Penny saved is a penny earned, eh, Mr. B? Wise men say, keep something for a rainy day.
Rainy day.
At 91 octane, Gulftane Low Lead is the kind of gasoline that's recommended in most new car manuals, yet it costs even less than our regular. So if you just got a new car, try Gulftane. The way things are going these days, every penny counts. Gulftane Low Lead. It costs less than our regular.
A few moments ago, LaMonica firing to Cliff Branch. Kenny Houston winds up with the football.
You see Elvin Bethea there put a good rush on Darrell. Branch has the ball, is tackled. It pops up in the air, and as Howard mentioned, Kenny Houston has a nose for the football. He knows where to go.
The Oilers now 1st and 10. They move on the Oakland Raiders 37-yard line. Pastorini splits Charlie Joyner out to the left into the slot. Oil Granger inside the 30. Hit there by number 43, George Atkinson.
Combination of two things, I would imagine. Hopefully an improved running game by Houston, but as we pointed out earlier, the defensive front four for the Oakland Raiders, they're young and inexperienced. They're going to make some mistakes. When you see a guy pop through like that, it's one of two things. He either gets a super block by an offensive line, or the defensive man is just overpowered or slightly out of position, possibly made a mistake. That last time, I think they made a mistake, and he ran all the way in, almost picked up the first down.
So about a yard short, and you're looking at Kenny Houston, and Kenny Houston is some football player. Howard alluded to the fact earlier that he holds 2 NFL records. He has returned 9 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. And that broke Herb Adderley and Erich Barnes-Mark, who did that last year. They had 7.
Old Erich.
Real opportunist. 2nd down, you saw it about a yard. Willie Rogers giving it a try.
He's got that first down. And, Don, you're talking about that young defensive line of John Madden's and Al Davis's. Don't think that hasn't caused sparks out in Oakland and in the Bay Area. Putting it right on the line, sitting on the bench is number 74, Tom Keating, one of the best modern-day defensive tackles, one of the quickest you'd ever want to see. Of course, he's a veteran now, and the Oakland management says he's been beaten out of his job. But his dissatisfaction has been openly expressed.
1st and 10, the Oilers moving on the Oakland Raiders 27-yard line. Ken Burrow left, Charlie Joyner to the right. Here comes Willie Rogers, heading back, getting over the line of scrimmage, inside the 25 to the 23. Otis Sistrunk, number 60. The Oakland Raiders out in front as a result of a 46-yard field goal by George Blanda.
Otis Sistrunk is a strong young man. Perhaps not quite so strong as Manny, his cousin with the Washington Redskins. He was a free agent. And I said earlier, when time permits, we'll develop the story of how Al Davis got him from Tommy Prothrow. It's really funny.
I can hardly wait.
2nd down and 8. Ball at the 24-yard line. Jim Byrne has checked in a one-wide receiver, bringing the play in. Intercepted, Art Toms.
And Art Toms made a fantastic move. He almost made a great move the play before. Penetrating deep into the backfield. Patry had a man open that time, too, Frank. Couldn't get it over Art Toms. Look at those hands, he's saying.
He's having quite a night. He blocked that field goal. So Art Toms, one of those youngsters in that defensive front four, has once again helped the Raiders. They lead the Houston Oilers 3-0. We'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
Last year, in a blindfold test of ride, the medium-priced Mercury Marquis beat out a $34,000 Mercedes limousine. Mercury's ride is hard to improve on, but this new 73 Marquis, we think, has done it. To find out, 50 professional chauffeurs compared the ride of our completely restyled 73 Marquis, blindfolded to the 72. Supervised by the Nationwide Consumer Testing Institute, a majority rated this new Mercury's ride superior to the 72.
The 73 was a superior ride than the 72.
I had a greater sense of stability in the 73.
We've refined Mercury's suspension system, and now every big Mercury has steel-belted radial tires, standard.
I was very impressed. It was really a difficult choice, to be very frank.
Both good cars, but I did prefer the 73.
73 Mercury Marquis, the car that beat the car, that beat the $34,000 limousine. Mercury, built better, to ride better. At the sign of the cat.
A lot of weird happenings tonight in the Astrodome. This was one of them that took place a few minutes ago. Dan Pastorini dropping back to pass. Watch number 80. Art Toms, a defensive tackle, laying back, it appears, as if possibly to pick up a screen man. And he gets the interception. Frank, ABC, and what's... oh, come on.
Languishing in anonymity.
In the cover, but everything but Batman. First and 10 for the Oakland Raiders, moving to the 25-yard line. This is Charlie Smith. Wow, and a lot of Houston Oilers there. Headed by Kenny Houston, number 29.
You mentioned, Frank, that Art Toms is having a whale of a night. He blocked that field goal attempt. He intercepted that pass. And it's a long time coming to that young man. He was Al Davis's first draft choice a few years back. A lot of people have felt that it was a mistake. But John Madden started using Toms a lot more last year. And then as Carlton Oates and Tom Keating, the veterans, fell by the wayside, Art's getting his chance. And if tonight is any indication, he's vindicating that draft choice.
Here he is, Art Tom, sitting on the bench. Out on the field, Darryl LaMonica is faced with a 2nd and 12-yard situation from the 23. Play fake. Why, I don't know, but he did. This one deflected, and he really got a strong rush that time. Coming in there was big George Webster, number 90 on the blitz. LaMonica now 5 of 13. You know, a young writer disappears in a Midwestern town, and Lieutenant Frank Dane of the Missing Persons Bureau has only a few clues to follow, but they lead him into some dangerous and unexpected places. That's in Jigsaw, one of the action drama series of The Men. Thursday at 9, 8 o'clock Central Time, and of course right here on ABC. Third down, 12 yards. The ball at the 23 of the Oakland Raiders. 6:45 remaining in the half. They lead the Houston Oilers 3-0. Flooding both backs to the right. This one going out to Biletnikoff, and all over Biletnikoff is Willie Alexander. And Alexander, of course, I didn't do anything.
That ball just barely cleared the outstretched hands of George Webster. This is Alexander, 8-19. We'll see what he does. He's got his hand on the back of Biletnikoff, which was called interference by the referee there. George Webster was the guy that hit LaMonica the play before that. Webster was also the guy who was back about 15 or 20 yards deep. We'll take another look at this one and see if you can pick out the interference call. I think you can. Alexander's coming in. Watch his left arm as he kind of...
Biletnikoff played it beautifully, too. He stepped in there where Alexander would have to come through him.
Look at Webster coming out there, too. That Webster's a heck of a linebacker.
First and 10 for the Raiders, moving from their own 41. Here comes Marv Hubbard. And he's met by big Mike Tilleman, number 78. Defensive line of the Oilers, Tilleman 78, Holmes 79, Brooks 73, Bethea 65, Webster 90, Pritchard 58, 85 is Rice. They're the linebackers. Willie Alexander at one corner, number 19. Benny Johnson, the other corner, 33. Charles 25, Houston 29, the safeties.
It's an astonishing thing to see Tilleman in there. That's a young man who had a cancer malignancy a year ago, Frank.
Playing a fine game tonight. The Raiders now with 2nd down and 5. The ball at their own 46-yard line. Here comes Hubbard. He's the workhorse. And piling over the 50 to the 49. And he runs right over the top of Pat Holmes, number 79, who does, however, manage to bring Hubbard down. Very close to the first.
Dan, you have to wonder about the courage of a man like Tilleman in the wake of his medical history. These guys are just not numbers and helmets and face masks. Tilleman's an extraordinary person.
It was middle of the stomach or something. I was a tumor. I don't really know that much about it, Howard, but I agree with you. There for some time, they didn't have any idea. Knew something was wrong. Didn't know the degree of seriousness, but a lot of these guys are...
Well, he had 2 operations, Dandy, and the second one, by the way, fortunately, the tumor proved to be benign. But this is a young man with real ability who's just now coming back to himself physically because of that surgical history.
Out of the Big Sky Country, Montana. That's Mike Tilleman that Howard and Don were referring to, playing a fine game tonight. This on 1st and 10. Darryl LaMonica going deep. He loves to go deep. Biletnikoff is open. In and out of the hands. I believe it would have been out of bounds. Back defending, number 19, Willie Alexander.
Well, he did a good job on that. A number 6 draft choice a year ago. He's got potential.
Bump and run by Willie Alexander, Don.
Well, he was called for interference time before for pushing. Let's see what happens this time. Biletnikoff actually has about a He ran over him again. I don't know that they would call that since he was out of bounds, but that's
going for the ball, Dan.
Going for the ball. That's going for the ball.
And you saw the time remaining in the half. The Raiders out in front. George Blanda hitting in the first quarter from 46 yards out. Gave them the lead, 3-0. Here comes Marv Hubbard on the draw. There's a big opening. Hubbard running hard down to the 40, the 41-yard line. Finally stopped by number 73, Leo Brooks, and 33, Benny Johnson. NCAA college football continues this Saturday on ABC with 3 telecasts. The majority of the nation will see Texas, Oklahoma, while we'll also be telecasting Arizona, New Mexico, and Citadel, East Carolina, regionally. Check your local listings for the time of the game in your area. Third down, a long yard for the Oakland Raiders. Ball at the 41-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Highsmith. Don Highsmith, a flag is down, as you see. Highsmith losing perhaps a yard, perhaps 2.
I think this will be a procedure penalty, motion penalty against Oakland, and probably, holding.
Holding. And that will smart at that point. Ron Pritchard over there helping to stop Don Highsmith.
We've got less than 5 minutes of time remaining in the first half as Oakland continues to lead by a narrow 3-0 margin. Don't forget at halftime, Giff, we've got coming up highlights of some of the top games in the NFL of yesterday, including the extraordinary conclusion of that St. Louis upset of Minnesota.
I've got a question, Don. If you get a back that comes off the bench, he's been in there for one play. Do you give him the ball on 3rd and 2 the first time he's been in the game when Hubbard's been eating them alive?
Well, he probably brought that play in, Frank. Getting to be more and more that way these days.
Peterson sends every play in, as you know, Giff.
Not a good idea, though. I agree with you, Frank.
From their own 44, following the holding penalty, LaMonica with the strong arm goes to Biletnikoff. He's short of the first down, hit hard by Willie Alexander.
There's a flag back where...
Depends on where they marked this, as a matter of fact.
Flag back where LaMonica was hit, too, Frank. He could have a roughing the passer penalty back there. He took a pretty good lick to the eye. I say the eye was both all over. Was it the eye or not?
He was in that area.
Yeah, he was in that area. He hit him up around the head and shoulders severely. But it might not even be that.
Dandy, did you ever feel fear when you were a quarterback?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, a reporter was interrogating you about that today, wasn't he?
He absolutely was. Let's look what this penalty is, because I thought it was roughing the passer.
Oakland, Don.
And it must be holding, I suppose, when you're back in that area. I'll tell you what, LaMonica got a hit in the head. His boys got caught for holding. That's when you have some discussions back in that thing. He said, look now, guys, if you're going to hold them good enough to keep them from hitting me.
3rd down, 31 yards to go. This is when you like to have that play come in off the bench, isn't it, Don?
Yeah.
Sandy goes out to the left. Biletnikoff is to the right. They're the 2 deep receivers. Monica rolling out, looking for a little time. Fires to Biletnikoff, who hangs on to the football short of the 50 and well short of the first down.
They're putting a lot of pressure on LaMonica tonight. I think that Houston defensive line working that Oakland offensive line over pretty good, because he's using that rolling pocket and he's still getting pressure.
Well, everyone knows Tillman's a major leaguer if he's healthy, and we've talked about Elvin Bethea. He's a super player, that 65. Great determination. Loves to hit as much as Willie Lanier of Kansas City does.
Jerry DePoyster kicking to the lone safety, Kenny Houston, number 29. There's some kind of football player, Kenny Houston. I mentioned that another fine defensive back for the Houston Oilers would be available tonight.
Zeke
Moore, and yet we have not seen him.
I think Kenny shows me as much strength back there in the strong safety position as anyone since you came up, Giff, and played it.
Which is back at the turn of the century, as I recall. the poister. And he is really rushed, but somehow he got rid of that football.
He also put on a big act, Frank, but didn't get away with it.
Nobody hit him, but watch him just get this ball out of the crowd.
He's saying that, if they hit me a while ago, they got to hit me again. A high snap. He took several steps. I don't know what you call that. You see him put his foot right there, and he pushes off. And falls back down. Told you Lamonica got hit in the eye. And he's there.
That looks like the mouth, Dandy.
Well, it's close. I said that area now. Look here, Darryl. Darryl, this way. Probably broke a tooth.
1st and 10. The Houston Oilers have 3:36 remaining in the half. They're moving from the 20-yard line. Here comes Willie Rogers. Willie Rogers met right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like a back molar there, Dandy, or else the left cheek.
That's either a back molar or it's the one right next to it, Howard. I can't see from here. It's one of those back two teeth, obviously.
I'll tell you one thing, he's not hurt.
No, he'll be all right. Wash it out, Darryl. You'll be okay.
Dentistry was your original choice for a professional career, wasn't it, Don, at SMU?
No.
2nd down and 9 for the Oilers. They trail 3-0. Both wide receivers coming left. Burrow, the bottom of your screen. This is Pastorini. Oh, and almost picked 48. Nehemiah Wilson almost picked the football off. Jim Byrne was the intended receiver.
Up to now, this young man is having one of those nights. Just terrible. The statistics speak for themselves. You have to feel sorry for him because he comes off such a big game against the Jets. That, of course, is the basic problem with young quarterbacks, isn't it, Gift? The achievement of consistency?
I would say so, but he was not all that good in the first half against the Jets, and he came back in the second half and was brilliant. As a matter of fact, the Houston Oilers in this season have not scored in the first quarter of play. So far, they haven't scored in the second quarter of this one. 3rd down and 9. From their own 21, Pastorini again going back. And this time he is caught. Big number 84, Tony Klein, is there, getting help from 82, Horace Jones.
I'll tell you, is that Toms that came in there again. Number 80, he came across, made a big lunge. It was a crisscross move between the defensive ends and tackles, threw that offensive blocking off a little bit. Watch it again. You'll see Toms, number 80, come just outside. It's where the real pressure comes in. He just leaps over, had a good angle. They were all in there.
After that, they were all in there, but you were quite right. It was the old tackle end game.
The old tackle end game gets them every time.
From his own end zone, Dan Pastorini to do the punting. Taken there by Atkinson. Atkinson tripped up at the 48-yard line. Getting down there quickly was number 15, Al Johnson. You know, this Saturday, ABC's Wide World of Sports brings you the National Championship Sprint Car Race from Terre Haute, Indiana, and the World Roller Skating Championships from Bremen, West Germany. That's this Saturday at 2 Eastern Time, 1 Central and 5 Pacific Time, and that's here on ABC.
If we just saw Atkinson slip on that AstroTurf as we break down to the 2-minute warning mark. Was that the first slip we've seen tonight? There's been so much complaining about this turf.
I believe so, but he did have a little help from Al Johnson. So, as Howard said, there is the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back at the Astrodome, where the Oakland Raiders lead the Houston Oilers with 2 minutes to play right after this match.
For years, musicians have tried to recreate the sound of a live performance. They improved the records, invented stereo, but nothing gave you the feeling of being there until now. Now there's discrete 4-channel sound. Introducing Series 44 from Panasonic. There are other kinds of 4-channel systems, but they don't separate sound into 4 distinct parts. A discrete system like Panasonic's does. Now a musician can put just rhythm on one speaker, French horns on another, trumpets on a third, violins on a fourth, so you feel right inside the music. Panasonic systems play 4-channel tapes and records. They also improve the sound of stereo tapes, records, and radio. Discrete 4-channel sound. Series 44 from Panasonic. Just slightly ahead of our time.
2 minutes remaining in the first half, and looking at those statistics, it's surprising that the Raiders only have 3 points on the scoreboard. That coming from a 46-yard field goal by George Blanda in the first quarter. But that's all it is. They lead the Oilers 3-0, and here's a young man who's had a lot of problems tonight, Dan Pastorini. He obviously is unhappy with it, Don.
Consistency, Frank, is the thing any quarterback tries to achieve, and when you're starting out and you come off of a good game, you know, last week they beat the Jets, and maybe he didn't have a good statistical game.
Oakland now with the football. They move on Houston's 48-yard line. Biletnikoff is right. And here comes Marv Hubbard. And Ron Pritchard slows up Hubbard, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage by Mike Tilleman, number 78, who is really playing a game tonight. Tilleman, Holmes, Brooks, Bethea, that front four of the Houston Oilers. And while they have not battled evenly statistically with the Raiders, they still only trail by 3. 1:34, the clock moving, remains in the first half. Tilleman, 4 tackles individually and 4 assists. The ball resting just at the 45-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Second down, 8. Now we're going to change the football.
Pro football. Not what it used to be, and it never was.
Well, that's a brilliant statement.
I can't decode that one.
Well, think about it.
Well, it sounds like one of Billy Clyde Puckett's.
No.
Well, LaMonica obviously upset about
he's worked up.
I guess...
The
only thing I can say is that maybe one of the Oilers said change the football. I don't know. He's going to come over and talk to head coach John Madden. And they have just clicked a timeout off on the scoreboard. So I guess Darrell wanted to stop the clock. But he was really upset about something, and I have the slightest idea over what.
Sun was in his eye.
The Raiders now have 2 timeouts. The Oilers have 3. 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining in the half. The ball at the 45. About 7 or 8 yards away from the toe of George Blanda for another possible field goal. Second down and 8. Monica draws a crowd, and he'll go down. Elvin Bethea finally drops LaMonica, but Leo Brooks was in there, Mike Tilleman, Pat Holmes, they were all there.
Well, maybe Houston can be happy with staying close thus far, but they can't be happy with Pastorini tonight, and they know they've got to draft some running backs in the next draft coming up and start rebuilding that phase of their team, while Oakland can't possibly be happy about the first half performance it's put on here. Overall, one would have to say this game has been rather dull, Andy.
Third down and 17. The ball at the 46-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Both wide receivers going right. LaMonica going for Charlie Smith. He overthrows. Back defending number 85, Floyd Rice. So out of field goal range, Jerry DePoister will come on to punt for the Oakland Raiders. Clock showing 44 seconds. Here's Jerry DePoister, who will kick to the single safety, Ken Houston. Again, a strong rush. Off the side of the foot. Well, that takes some guts right there. He had a crowd of Raiders on him. And he loses yardage back to the 13-yard line. So Houston comes onto the field, Dan Pastorini. It's going to be interesting to see what Pastorini will try and do with 33 seconds remaining. I have a hunch he's been advised by his coach, Bill Peterson. Just be careful with it. Don't give it up. A young man from Santa Clara. And this is what he did not want to do. Phil Villapiano picks it off. And he's out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Oakland will call timeout. Somebody indicated a timeout. They don't have to. 9 seconds show on the scoreboard.
I don't understand, Frank.
No, I don't either. It's an imponderable mistake. There's Burrow going down the sideline, completely open, but no matter. The ball thrown into a crowd of white shirts at just an inexplicable time. 9 seconds left to go in the first half. Hardly reflective of professional football at its best level.
And Earl Lamonica obviously is going to throw the ball because he doesn't have time to run the ball and perhaps get the field goal. Going for Biletnikoff, who's open.
He got
Touchdown. Fred Biletnikoff getting behind number 19, Willie Alexander.
Oh, boy.
Talk about a giveaway at 7 points.
Well, we can look back and see a lot of those things, but Biletnikoff just takes off. He gets right behind Alexander. It's a perfectly thrown ball by Lamonica, incidentally.
Boy, that's where bump and run hurts if you don't know how to handle it.
Look at that Biletnikoff, and he's been in the end zone before. Saw him gather himself, get those feet together. Scored 6. That was an unnecessary touchdown for Oakland to get there.
George Blanda with the conversion. So the Oakland Raiders, with a gift from the Houston Oilers, in effect, move out in front 10-0. Some wild games around the league yesterday, and of course we'll be looking at those at halftime, as is our custom. The New York Giants with a big victory, running up a lot of points against the New Orleans Saints. You don't mind if I say that, Howard?
I don't mind that at all, Giff. I'm looking forward to next week.
Well, I'm looking
I don't
forward
like what I see here tonight. Next week, we've got Green Bay at 3-1 against Detroit at 3-1. Two of the teams in the black and blue division tied for the lead, where astonishing things have been happening, and I want to see for myself Brockington and MacArthur Lane and Scott Hunter and the rebirth of the pack, and I want to see for myself the Detroit team that we watched yesterday pull out that victory over a very strong Atlanta team.
I'm with you, Howard.
All the way.
Yeah. Tell them about
Let's get loose. Liven it up.
Good. Can you believe that? That is not true. That didn't happen. Oh, come on, fella.
We have seen just about everything. That gun has sounded.
Hurry up, get those highlights.
And the locals don't like the call. Both teams leaving the field. That's the end of the first half. And as you see, the Oakland Raiders with that bonus touchdown, stretching their lead to 10-0. Oakland Raiders 10, the Houston Oilers nothing. And again, highlights of yesterday's game coming up in just a moment.
Back in '63, a team of specially equipped Mercury Comets set durability records that have yet to be equaled. 100,000 miles at 100 miles an hour at Daytona. Today, we build a new kind of Mercury Comet, smaller by almost a foot, priced right down with the little imports. But we still build Comet to be tough. Tough enough to take the punishment of a rugged test track. Built from the same gauge high-quality steel as our biggest Mercuries. Welded firmly into a solid unibody suit of armor. Reinforced with sturdy steel beams. Mercury Comet. It's one tough little car. With a family tradition for durability that goes back to 100,000 miles. 1973 Mercury Comet. Built better to last longer. At the sign of the cat.
Don Rickles guest stars with Julie Andrews Wednesday night.
We're back live at the Houston Astrodome. Halftime score, as you can see, the Oakland Raiders 10, the Houston Oilers nothing. The action was sparse throughout the first half. The game was laggardly played. This is the way the scoring, such as it was, went. Oakland got a field goal, 46-yarder from the ageless one, George Blander, in the first quarter. That was the only scoring. Indeed, that was the only scoring until there were but 4 seconds remaining in the half. Because with 9 seconds remaining, inexplicably, Dan Pastorini essayed a pass from deep in his own territory, which was promptly picked off by Phil Villapiano, the second-year linebacker from Bowling Green, who did so well as a rookie. And that set up a quick LaMonica to Biletnikoff 16-yard touchdown pass. Oakland 10, Houston nothing. Now to our weekly halftime highlights of yesterday's games, prepared in conjunction with NFL Films. Right to it. Balloons go up in the air. The atmosphere is festive at Atlanta Stadium. This is first half action. Only minutes remaining. The handoff to Alty Taylor of the Lions, number 42. The Lions leading 6-3 at this point. And Alty running wide right, as you saw, and then cutting back in brilliantly, picks up 32 yards. This is the very next play. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in the first half. The score, as I said, 6-3. And Steve Owens, number 36, former Heisman Trophy winner from Oklahoma, moves out wide and goes in for the tally. Detroit leads 13-3. Now we're early in the third quarter, and they're struggling. Atlanta is to fight back. Bob Berry has just handed off to Art Malone, who's become an outstanding running back in the National Football Conference. He moves in for the touchdown. It's 13-10. Now, after that kickoff, this is the first play after the Atlanta kickoff, and Greg Landry drops back and throws, as you see, to Ron Jesse, number 89. Jesse moves all the way downfield. It's an 82-yard play, touchdown. Detroit 20, Atlanta 10. Now we're in the second play of the fourth quarter. That's Bob Berry, the Atlanta quarterback, throwing to and hitting Art Malone. Touchdown. At this moment, it's the Lions 20, the Falcons 17. The Falcons come back with a field goal. It's 20-20. And now is Bill Bell again for Atlanta, kicking a field goal that's good. This time it's 23-20 Atlanta with only 2:52 left in the game. Quickly, Greg Landry strikes back. Downfield to his back, Alty Taylor, number 42 again. Taylor and Steve Owens have combined to give Detroit one of the best 1-2 running punches in the National Football League. We now have just 47 seconds left in the game. Landry attempts to hit Ron Jesse, again, number 89. Pass is incomplete, but the flag goes down. An interference penalty called, and so Detroit has the ball on the Atlanta 3-yard line. Now we have just 39 seconds left. Again, the handoff to number 36, Steve Owens. This time he goes around the right side, sheds the tacklers, as you see. He's in for the touchdown, no matter that the extra point was blocked. The Lions beat the Falcons 26-23. Lambeau Stadium. The Chicago Bears going against the reborn Green Bay Packers because they've been playing great football. And there you see a fumble after a Bobby Douglas handoff. The ball is picked up by Clarence Williams. He dashes 21 yards into the end zone. Quickly, the Pack leads 7-0. This action, of course, in the first quarter. Now we're in the second quarter, and it's 7-3 Packers. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the half. Number 16, Scott Hunter, the heir successor to Bart Starr, the youngster from Alabama, throwing deep downfield, intended for Dave Davis. But watch this. The ball deflected by Joe Taylor of the Bears, and then Johnny Staggers, the former Missourian, who played his college ball for Dan Devine, now his pro coach, gets the ball while in the air, carries it in for the score, and the Pack leads the Bears 14-3. Now we're early in the fourth quarter. The Pack is leading 17-10. Bobby Douglas, the southpaw quarterback, whom some say should be a running back, not a quarterback, throws a 46-yard pass, in effect, to George Farmer as he storms downfield after the reception. Chicago Bears can fool you, even though they're still winless. This is 4 plays later. It's 4th and 2 from the 2. And watch Bobby Douglas scrambling in. And suddenly, the Chicago Bears have tied the Pack at 17-17. This Packer team, as I said, is a different team this year. We've now got 34 seconds left in the game, and this is their new place kicker, Markle, the youngster from Hillsdale. And it's good. and the Pack beats the Bears 20-17. And next week, the Pack at 3-1 against the Detroit Lions at 3-1 on Monday Night Football. Well, somebody caused the Minnesota Vikings to be snake bit. We've got 1:43 seconds left in the game. The Vikings ahead of the Cardinals 17-12, and that's Gary Quazzo, the former Viking quarterback, hitting the rookie from Oregon, Bobby Moore. Touchdown, and suddenly the St. Louis Cardinals lead 19-17. Now we've got 4 seconds, as you can see, left in the game. And Minnesota is setting up for a field. Fred Cox, it's a chippy shot, 26 yards out. But look, he misses. The ball hits the upright, and so it's 19-17 St. Louis. Let's look at it again in slow motion. The snap. The approach by Freddie Cox. The boot. Now watch closely. Defensive back Roger Whaley apparently climbing up his teammate Rose back. Apparently touches the football. And indeed, the trajectory of the ball seems to have changed in flight. The ball hits the goalposts. And astonishingly, the powerhouse Purple People Eaters have lost 3 of their first 4 games of the season.
Save your money at a savings and loan. Your money does more than just grow. A savings and loan lends out money for homes, and that helps communities grow. We're doing a lot for America, and we want to do more.
Hey, Grady!
Hey, look who's here.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Well, if it isn't Francis Tucker. Yeah, the man who can't stay in the pocket. I think he's put on a little weight. Let's see if he still has his arm. Come on, Frank, throw me one.
Hey, let's show him a little defense.
Hey, let's show him a little defense. Get him, Jim. Jim, I'm on you.
If you find yourself scrambling around as much as Fran Tarkington, you really ought to know about the shirt he's wearing. The knitted sports shirt from Arrow. It gives a man total freedom of movement. The supple knit fabric stretches as you stretch. Moves as you move. Doesn't bind. Stays smooth. And even if it gets roughed up a little, you still wind up looking pretty terrific. The sport knit from Arrow. We call it the Scrambler. If it takes Fran Tarkington's scrambling, it'll take yours.
Shea Stadium, New York City. Key game, American Football Conference. Still unbeaten Miami against the presumably challenging Jets. This is action in the second quarter. The Jets leading 7-0. Bob Greasy dropping back, hitting Howard Twilley, number 81, who's all alone. Quickly, the score is tied at 7-7. We move to action later in the second quarter. Once again, Greasy has marched his team downfield. Now the handoff to number 21, Jimmy Kick. He's in. 6 yards in the touchdown. Miami 14, the Jets 7. Let's go to the third quarter. Miami's now leading 17-7. Joe Willie Namath trying to rally his forces. Back in the pocket, throwing deep downfield to the number 1 draft choice from Jackson State, Jerry Barker. Wearing number 83, the number that George Sauer Jr. used to wear. No, Miami did not get it. The pass completed. A 52-yard gain. That led to a Bobby Howfield field goal, 17-7. 17-10, rather. Now we move to the very end of the game, early in the fourth quarter. Emerson Boozer scores to make it 24-17. Later, Miami a field goal. That's it. This is Norm Snead, apparently reborn after years of failure, years of hope but no success at Yankee Stadium against the helpless New Orleans Saints. We're midway in the first quarter, and that's Snead dropping back. What a passing percentage he's got this year. Touchdown pass to the back from Southern California, Charlie Evans. 7-0 Giants. Well, late in the first quarter, it's 10-0 Giants. The handoff to Charlie Evans, number 31, who scored 3 times this day. He's in for the touchdown, and they're piling it up. 17-0 Giants over New Orleans. Now we're late in the second quarter. It's 24-0 at this point. I told you about Charlie Evans. Here he is again. 8 yards in. Touchdown. The Giants leading 31-0. They haven't had a day like this in years. We're just 3 plays later. 15 seconds left in the half. Archie Manning, out of Ole Miss, number 8, scrambling the way he used to in college, looking deep downfield, throwing to number 83, Dave Parks, once the leading pass receiver in the National Football League. That was back in '66, and New Orleans is on the scoreboard. It's 31-7 Giants at halftime. Now we're in the third quarter. Norm Snead again, a 14-yard touchdown pass. You will see it to Don Herman, the youngster from Waynesburg. And so the Giants are ahead, 38-7. Scan excitement here. We are late in the third quarter, or at least moving to it. And they're finally playing Bob Grimm, acquired from the Vikings in the Tarkenton trade. Snead to Bob Grimm, hits him, touchdown, 45-7. Well, not a good day for the New Orleans Saints, to put it in the form of understatement. Here you see Manning dropping back. Manning finally hitting Danny Abramowitz, and so New Orleans scores. That made it 45-14. It wound up 45-21, no contest.
That was yesterday, and this is tonight. The Oakland Raiders leading the Houston Oilers 10-0. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Oakland Raiders versus the Houston Oilers, is being brought to you by Mercury. Cars that are built better to ride better. Mercury at the sign of the cat. And by Sears Tire and Auto Centers, where you'll find die-hard batteries and a complete line of quality tires. And we'll be ready for the second half kickoff between the Raiders and the Oilers after this word from our local stations.
As you can see, I'm with a quarterback who's had many nights in his career, much like the terrible one that Dan Pastorini is suffering tonight. Remind us of some of them, Don.
I'm getting tired of hearing about that, to tell you the truth. All you can ask for in the second half is help. Get a lot of help. He didn't have a good first half. It wasn't really a good ball game. Darrell didn't throw that well either. I think both teams have got to establish something consistent, Howard. And I don't, what that something is, it can be, anything would be an improvement. Whether it's the running game, I don't think they utilize their total offense that much.
What puzzles me, though, Don, and you remember our lengthy talk with Bill Peterson last night, a man for whom we have to have a great deal of respect, a truly fine coach, I think. He calls all the plays for Pastorini, barring a few audibles. That last inexplicable pass could not have been an audible, didn't seem to be, and I can't understand Bill Peterson calling the play.
Well, we don't know that he did, Howard, but as you say, more than likely he did. I don't understand either. He didn't have but 33 seconds, I think, on the clock to do anything with, and it's the kind of situation where you'd expect, let's run a thing out. They're known as the second half ball club. We're going in at halftime only 3 points down, which is a pretty good situation, and they really gave the thing away, and he came back the next time, and now they're 10 points down, and 10 points is a lot different than 3.
A lot of points against a team as good as Oakland. I think we ought to take another look, perhaps, at that last touchdown.
So it's me. Let's do.
All right, there it goes.
Blitnikoff is just getting right behind Alexander, but just by a step. And it was a perfectly thrown ball, as we mentioned earlier. But it's right in the corner, and that's put them 10-0.
10-0 is the score as we go back to the Giffer for the resumption of action, the start of the second half.
Well, I would like to point out, too, that the Houston Oilers trailed the New York Jets 14-0 at halftime only a week ago. And that was when Dan Pastorini showed the type of football player he really is. And we know he is, and I think every football expert will tell you. But you're looking at the statistics overwhelmingly in favor of Oakland. They lead again 10-0, and the total yards 171-27. That's quite a story in itself. Setting it up to get the second half underway is Jerry DePoyster. He'll be kicking. To 27. That's quite a story in itself. Setting it up to get the second half underway is Jerry DePoyster. He'll be kicking deep to number 21, Lindsey Cole. Lindsey Cole on your right, and number 34, Willie Rogers on your left. Houston down 10-0. Poyster with an end-over-end kick. Well, we've seen everything tonight. We just about saw something else as Cole and Willie Rogers gave it an Alphon Gaston act down there at the goal line.
You know, Frank, they were trying desperately to touch that ball, and had one of them touched it, they were actually inbounds. It would have wound up being a safety, and that would have been one of the most unusual safeties, I think, well, I've ever seen.
All right, here we go. Dan Pastorini back in a quarterback. Willie Rogers, Hoyle, Granger, the setbacks. Ken Burrow, 0-0, one flanker. Charlie Joyner, 18. Out at the top of your screen, the other flanker, Alvin Reed, is 89. He's the tight end. 1st and 10 for the Oilers, moving from their 20. And here comes Willie Rogers. Rogers with a gain of about 4 yards. Nailed there by number 80, Art Toms. Art Toms and Otis Sistrunk are the defensive tackles for the Oakland Raiders. Sistrunk 60, Toms 80. Klein, 84 left end. Horace Jones, 82 the right end. The linebackers in the middle, number 86, Gerald Irons. Phil Villapiano, number 41. One linebacker on the outside. Guessano, 34 the other. Second down, call of 6. The ball at the 24-yard line of the Houston Oilers. Looking for the screen. A flag goes down. Granger has the ball. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
It's hard to guess what it would be, Frank. We probably shouldn't, but that screen was a little slow in setting up. You saw Pastorini fake to his left and spin back, and it could have been that the offensive lineman had moved down past that line of scrimmage. I don't know what these referees are having fun tonight.
Something has just happened, fellas, that I think we should tell the viewers about, even though they won't be able to see the young man. The penalty, personal foul, as you see. Now, getting back to what I was saying, a young man was just wheeled into our booth. A big young man. This fella's 6 feet 4 inches tall, who was a quarterback for Kansas State and the number 2 draft choice 2 years ago for the Houston Oilers. A fella named Lynn Dickey. Dislocated a hip. Underwent surgery. They had to cut away a lot of muscle to repair him. He'll not play again this year. His whole football future is doubtful. At the very start of tonight's proceedings, it was Dan Pastorini who was wheeling Lynn Dickey out along the sidelines. Lynn is a great kid and a great competitor. And the hope here in the Astrodome and the hope everywhere is that he'll be back to play again.
There is the personal foul indicated against the Houston Oilers. And again, a long discussion preceding that.
That makes me 0 for 12, I was informed from the booth. I'm not going to say anything about penalties anymore.
Alvin Reed apparently gave someone a pop he should not have. The tight end for the Houston Oilers. Third down. Now the Oilers back from the 13-yard line. And here comes Willie Rogers. Willie Rogers battling up to about the 18. Rather, Hoyle Granger coming back out to the 19-yard line. That offensive line for the Houston Oilers. Calvin Hunt is the center, 51. Ron Soule, 64. Tom Regner, 60, the guards. Levert Carr, 63, the right tackle. Tom Funchess, the left tackle, number 66. Third down and 11. The ball at the 19 of the Oilers. Just underway in the second half. The Oilers trailing the Raiders 10-0. Both backs circling out of the backfield, and low and hard, but well covered is 00 Ken Burrow, and Willie Brown, 24, the all-pro safety, was right there.
I think you pretty well called it, Frank. Low and hard. Burrow is the speedster that came from New Orleans to Houston. Has done a good job this year for Houston in some of the preseason games and earlier games. That one was a little bit low. And again, Pastorini is not throwing the ball as well as he can.
All right, Pastorini now back to punt. Kick deep to number 21, Cliff Branch. 43 is Atkinson. Oh, and Atkinson took a chance, and it didn't work.
still loose down there, and I think Oakland, nope. Oh, there I did it again.
Houston has the football on the 38-yard line of Oakland. And Atkinson, I believe, made quite a mistake. There's nothing but Houston Oilers around him. And the job really is for Cliff Branch, 21, to tell him whether to fair catch it or not. And of course, Atkinson, the veteran, might have just decided I can handle it.
Look at that ball still holding.
Al Johnson finally sits on it. Number 15, Houston has the ball. They're at the 37-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, and they trail 10-0. Burrows to the right now, splitting out further to the left. Number 18 is Joyner. Willie Rogers, and he's picked up immediately. Number 84, Tony Klein was there. 82, Horace Jones.
This team simply can't muster any ground attack at all, which is, of course, an overwhelming problem for them. Even if Pastorini were throwing well, you couldn't pass forever. You're looking there at
Al Johnson. It's a great
problem is twofold on in the running department. A, they don't have good running backs. B, they don't have a good offensive line.
2nd and 12 from the 38-yard line. Pastorini back. Draws the crowd. Misses Byrne on the sideline. Willie Brown covering, and Pastorini took quite a shot.
There's a flag down.
Holding the Houston Oilers.
Al Johnson, the fellow who recovered that fumble a while ago, and you had a close-up there on your screen, number 15 for Houston, University of Cincinnati, was a quarterback Cincinnati. Coach Peterson was talking last night. He says, I think really he was recognized as the third best wishbone tee quarterback or option quarterback in the country last year. He placed him behind the quarterback at Oklahoma, Mildred and Phillips in Texas, and he said, this guy, don't be too surprised if we don't try it sometime this year. We might put Johnson in as a wishbone quarterback and see what he can do.
Good runner. He gained over 1,700 yards of Cincinnati. Right now, we have a 2nd down and 27. Pastorini in trouble. He'll draw the rush of these young Raiders. Klein really pops him, and he lets it go out of bounds. And Tony Klein, number 84, unloaded on Pastorini. Klein beating the block of LaVerge Carr. And this young man he's been bumped around tonight, and he has also not thrown the ball well. There's a great player, George Webster, defensive linebacker. You know, he was the only one who's ever had a number retired at Michigan State.
He's the all-time AFL all-star linebacker or all-pro linebacker is Webster.
George Webster. And we'll be back at the Astrodome where the Oakland Raiders lead the Houston Oilers 10-0 after this message.
Bob Greasy doesn't wear give-and-take knit slacks from Sears when he works, but he could.
Blue 80! They're a comfortable idea in double knit slacks because even the new Banroll waistband stretches, so they really give and take with the action. And they always look great because knits shake the wrinkles right out.
Give-and-take knit slacks. You won't want to wear them all the time, but you could. Give-and-take knit slacks and all that goes with them at Sears, the men's store.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays the diehard from the swift completion of its appointed starts. The Sears Diehard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Sold only at Sears.
12 minutes and 4 seconds remain in the third quarter. The Houston Oilers down 10-0 to the Oakland Raiders. Dan Pastorini, the quarterback for the Houston Oilers, 1 of 12 tonight, 17 yards. That was a screen pass that happened about an hour and a half ago in the first quarter. Having a rough night. 3rd down and 27. Firing for Byrne, he has it. And out of bounds at the 34-yard line is Jim Byrne. Short of the first down. And that will bring on Skip Butler.
Let's take a look at this. As Frank just pointed out, this is his first completion to a wide receiver. Just a sideline pattern. It did not pick up enough for the first down, so they'll try the field goal.
Kemp next will set the ball up at about the 42-yard line for Skip Butler. And this is blocked. They have blocked, I believe, 3 field goals tonight between the two teams.
I'm telling you.
Boy, there's humanity.
That is.
Look at that.
Well, I hope we can get another look at that block, Don, because I want to see how low the trajectory is this time.
It was definitely too low.
Horace Jones comes up with the ball for the Oakland Raiders.
There it is. Now look at this, Don.
I want you to describe each one of these guys that covers the ball, Howard. Name them now. Here they go. Zoop. There goes the ball.
I think a few of them came off the bench.
Yeah, we'd be better off describing the ball.
That's Villapiano there is trying to get it.
41 is Villapiano, number 80.
Horace Jones had about 3 shots at it.
You gotta
80
love
dot
it.
Toms. 82, of course, is Jones from Louisville, 12th round draft choice a year ago. Back to the action.
On first and 10. There LaMonica wants to throw, and he gets stumped. Leo Brooks, number 73, was in there, along with Elvin Buffet, number 65.
Jeff, I think when this one is over, we should go into the league offices on Wednesday, get the films of the game, and take them around to local high schools as a study in futility.
Wow, that's heavy, Howard.
You said that, Howard.
Howard said that, America. Howard said that. Good old Howard.
You guys are ready to be taken off the hook, aren't you?
What hook? You're the one that's on the hook.
Second down and 20. The ball at the 32 of the Houston Oilers. There LaMonica guiding the Raiders. Both backs out. Dumps the screen to Hubbard. Hubbard gets back to about the 27-yard line. Stopped by Ron Pritchard, number 58. This man has been a football player tonight. He's been everywhere. Again, the Raiders out in front, 10-0. Blanda hit on a 46-yard field goal in the first quarter. And then just before the half, LaMonica hit Fred Biletnikoff. 9 seconds remaining in the game. Another 5 seconds remaining in that first half to make it Oakland 10, Houston nothing. Third down now and 15. Biletnikoff is to the right. Siani is to the left. LaMonica is going to be hit. He gets away. Almost picked off by Houston. LaMonica just stepping up in time to avoid Floyd Rice. He's coming on the blitz. So 45-year-old George Blanda trots onto the field. He'll be making a field goal attempt. Odds are it'll be blocked. At least statistically tonight, you could say that. They blocked more than they've got off.
Frank Gifford said that, America.
From the 35. And when George Blanda trots away, you know he's made it. George Blanda extends the Oakland Raider lead to 13 points. Oakland 13, the Houston Oilers nothing. And also his all-time scoring mark in the NFL. We'll be back after this message.
Sunoco announces the football event of the year. It's NFL Action 72. Here's Coach Don Shula to tell you about it.
Now, Sunoco brings you something you parents will be interested in because it's fun for the entire family. Sunoco brings you NFL Action player stamps with stars from every pro team. Every time that you stop at a participating Sunoco station, you get a set of 9 official NFL Action player stamps. Free. They're great to collect and trade. And to help you save your stamps, there are 2 official Stamp Saver albums. This regular edition is 89 cents. And for $2.49, you get this deluxe album full of facts and photos. Both albums come with 144 extra player stamps. So get your family in on the fun.
Get NFL Action player stamps free at Sunoco.
Barry DePoyster will set it up for the Oakland Raiders. 9 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Willie Rogers on your left, Lindsey Cole on your right. Rogers 34, Cole 21.
Barry DePoyster with a mustache must think he belongs to the Oakland Athletics.
This will be Cole at the goal line. Cole up over the 20. 40, getting down there very quickly for the Oakland Raiders. A fine running back who has not seen action tonight. That's Pete Banaszak. This program is being brought to you as an ABC Sports exclusive. And right now, let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. First and 10, the ball just over the 20-yard line of the Houston Oilers. They trail 13-0. Boyle Granger moving over the line of scrimmage, picking up maybe a yard. And here will come a play. The person of a couple of Houston Oilers, Jim Byrne, the receiver, comes in. He brings the play from head coach Bill Peterson. There's a man who's had quite a night, Elvin Bethea. Al Johnson is in at one setback. Second down and 9. The ball at the 21-yard line of the Oilers, and here comes Al Johnson. He's a former quarterback. Well, he can still throw it. That was a lateral. Boy, look at that arm. And wide open is Burrow. And he drops it. And had not Pastorini bobbled that ball, he would have been able to throw it in time to get that ball to Burrow, who was wide open.
That's the razzle-dazzle.
That's Al Johnson, whom Don was speaking of a moment ago. He was a quarterback at Cincinnati. Good runner, good passer. Here's Burrow. He's loafing down to make it look as if he were looking back to the play.
I don't believe they actually thought he could throw it that far. But I agree, if he had picked it up or had caught it, he could have rifled a little bit more and gotten that ball down in front.
Third down and 9. And Pastorini draws the crowd, and down he goes, back inside the 20. Big number 60, Otto Sistrunk is there. Young man who never went to any major college. Matter of fact, didn't play college football at all.
Well, let's pick up that story that we began in the first half. Al Davis was in Los Angeles for a league meeting. Tommy Prothrow thought he wanted to spy on the Rams in workouts. He called Davis, invited him into a workout. He said, "What guy do you like best?" And Davis pointed and said, "That one, I don't know his name." He said, "Well, that guy's name is Sistrunk." Al will complete the story later.
You're not going to stop that story again, are you? Go ahead, talk right through the punt.
Cliff Branch was 21, and he's back to field the punt of Pastorini. 9-3 sprinter, and he'll go nowhere. Dropped inside his 30, 52-yard punt by Pastorini. The one thing he is doing well tonight. So the Oakland Raiders take over, and we'll be back at the Astrodome right after this message.
Civilized like an elegant woman, savage like a cat.
Mercury Cougar XR7, like nobody else's car. Buckets, tachometer, automatic floor shift, V8, all standard. No car combines more luxury and sportiness than Cougar XR7.
It's like nobody else's car.
Built better to give you more. At the sign of the cat.
Jim makes a point of helping you understand what you're buying.
Jim Mullins? Well, he's just a complete man.
These Vermonters are talking about their friend Jim Mullen, the kind of insurance man you don't mind seeing.
In our youth group, like, you can really talk to him, and he'll never put you down.
Jim? He's one in a million.
He's my daddy.
Jim Mullen in Burlington, Vermont, is one of 22,000 Metropolitan life salesmen. Like Jim, they're all more than salesmen. At Metropolitan, we sell life insurance, but our business is life.
Back, you see the score, 13-0. Oakland dandy Don Meredith insists we continue with the Otis Sistrunk story.
Yeah.
A week later, Prothrow called.
Wait a minute, now start off. within Los Angeles.
We're going to keep this going throughout the whole game to keep the tension alive. Gift.
1st and 10. The Oakland Raiders moving from their own 29. Monica's the quarterback. Charlie Smith, the ball carrier. He moves over the 35 to the 36. There's the young man we were speaking of a moment ago, Len Dickey, who had that severe injury, dislocated hip, the surgery, and hopefully he will be able to return to this game. Certainly not this year. Hopefully there is a future for this fine quarterback. Great-looking kid.
He really is a great-looking kid. Can throw that football, too.
Charlie Smith picks up 7 yards. It'll be 2nd down for the Oakland Raiders. They lead 13-0. 6:57 remains in the 3rd quarter. Here comes Marv Hubbard.
I've just been asked by our brilliant producer, director Chet Forty, to continue with the Otis Sistrunk.
Wait a minute. What?
In any event, Prothrow called Davis a week later. He said, hey, you like that guy Sistrunk? You want him? So Davis thought there was something going on in Prothrow's mind that Davis didn't know about the kid. He said, well, I need another look at him. He said, we're having an intra-squad scrimmage Saturday. Come down and see him. Now Davis goes to see him. The kid's the star of the game. He makes a deal with Prothrow, and he gets the kid. But, and we'll finish it later.
Ball at the 44.5-yard line. 1st down for the Raiders. This is Charlie Smith. Gains about 2 yards.
Davis gives up.
Just a minute. Wait a minute. Did Davis come to Los Angeles?
Yes, he did.
Prothrow had said.
Davis came to Los Angeles, saw the intra-squad scrimmage. Now he makes a deal with Prothrow, gives up a number 3 future draft choice, gets back a number 4 future plus Sistrunk. At this very time, Carroll Rosenblum has acquired possession of the L.A. Rams. Rosenblum holds his first meeting with Prothrow, and he knows about Sistrunk showing in the intra-squad game. Prothrow says, I've traded that kid. Rosenblum said, what? He was the best-looking kid in the game. What did we get for him?
When are you going to get to the rest of the story?
After this play.
2nd down and 7 from the 47, the reverse. And the reverse goes to Raymond Chester. Raymond Chester gets up to the 50. Up there by Pat Holmes, number 79, a gain of about 3.
To make a long story short, the Rams would like to have gotten Otis Sistrunk back. Instead, he wears number 60 for the Oakland Raiders, and Davis is convinced he's going to be a star for a lot of years to come. Injury, as you see, on the field.
I think that's Alexander, I believe.
Willie, number 19.
He was taking on a very big man in Raymond Chester, number 87, the tight end, who is such a fine runner. He's 6'3" and 225 pounds. Now watch him come around.
And he really does hit him too, Frank. Watch Chester as he hits Alexander, number 19. You'll see him come up. He does make the tackle, but head on right there, and you can see he's really out now. I think it's just he caught him right with his head. I believe he's knocked out.
Gift mentioned at the top of the game that Raymond Chester wasn't right, and that's true. Raymond tore up some cartilage in the ribs in the opening game of the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was that bitterly waged 34-28 victory by Pittsburgh, if you remember it, over Oakland. As a result, Raymond told me today at the hotel where they're staying, again, you're seeing the top of the dome, he said, please tell my coach, Earl Banks from college at Morgan State on the air, that I have not gotten fat, that I'm wearing padding to protect my ribs. So there it is, Earl Banks.
Speaking of the NCAA, college football will continue this Saturday on ABC with 3 telecasts. The majority of the nation will see Texas undefeated against Oklahoma, which is also undefeated. We'll also be televising Arizona, New Mexico, Citadel, and East Carolina regionally. So check your local listings for the time of the game in your area. 3rd down and 5. The ball resting just inside Houston territory at the 50. Zeke Moore has replaced Alexander. Alexander on the sidelines. The attempt to Marv Hubbard, and Ron Pritchard was there to meet him. Willie Alexander in his 2nd year out of Alcorn A&M. And obviously shaken up on that tackle of Raymond Chester. Well, the Raiders cannot move the ball. That will bring on Jerry DePoyster.
Incidentally, Frank, while we await this punt, Raymond Chester has a consecutive game streak going for pass receptions, and I don't believe he's caught a pass tonight.
He has not. Almost sent it over the head of DePoyster. Jimmy Houston. The single safety will let it bounce. Oh, and he'll play it. And he draws a crowd, and he goes down at the 4. Kenny Houston taking his chance. And it goes all the way back to the 4-yard line, where Dan Pastorini will have to go back to work. Four minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the standing room only crowd was just announced a few moments ago of 51,378.
What'd you do with that check for $800,000, Dandy?
Gave it back to you, Howard.
Dandy has been fondling a check for $800,000. That story he'll tell.
Right now, 1st and 10 for the Oilers. They'll move from their 4-yard line. And Robert the Tank Holmes, number 39, picks up a quick 11 yards out to the 15-yard line. The former Kansas City great. Hit there by Nehemiah Wilson.
He's going to take off. Robert Holmes get his shirt. They just rip it off. He says, I'm going the other direction. The tearaway jersey is back.
He had a big year in '69 when Kansas City won it all and beat Minnesota in the Super Bowl. One of those low-slung backs that Hank Stram was always so partial to, and a very good receiver.
All right, they mark it at the 14, a gain of 9. Second down, a yard. Willie Rogers. He has the yardage for the first down. Holmes has some new wardrobe. Talking to Bill Peterson. Picks up the play. He'll bring it in. 1st and 10 for the Oilers. And this capacity crowd who booed that "We Thank You" fans that was printed on the scoreboard a few moments ago. It's a big cheer for their ball club. 1st and 10, the Oilers from their 20-yard line. Well, that's a little mix-up as Willie Rogers winds up with the ball. And Art Toms winds up with Willie Rogers. I think they might have messed this one up a little, Don.
Yeah, it looked like one of those who wants it kind of things because it was a mix-up. But look at this Toms play that we've mentioned him several times tonight, but he played off his blocker very well, kept his head up, good position, saw the reverse, or the attempted reverse, forced it in there for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. Good young football.
And we can tell you that Willie Alexander, we have been informed, is all right. Quite possibly will be back in the game. This now on 2nd and 15. Pastorini. Well, he's over the line of scrimmage. Forced out of bounds by number 82, Horace Jones, and the crowd doesn't like it. Bill Villapiano is also there along with Otis Sistrunk.
All right, again at the top of the screen is Burra. You see him being forced out of his pocket. Burra saw that. He takes off deep. He's in the middle again, trying to find an opening. Those guys are hard to see. Here's part of the Sistrunk. Whoop. Sistrunk gave him a shot to the chops. That's what the crowd was reacting to. It's the same guy that Howard attempted to tell that story about.
It's 3rd down and 12. Pastorini with both wide receivers. Going to the right end. Willie Brown almost picked that one off. Willie Brown covering Ken Burrow beautifully. This man is really having a difficult night.
Well, I don't really know much to say, Frank. It's just he's throwing to Burrow. Burrow goes up. He didn't come back for the ball, but the ball was not really thrown in where it should have been. Pastorini is not doing a very good job tonight.
Well, we can't say he's punting well.
Good.
This will be the speedster, Cliff Branch, the rookie from Colorado with the 9.3 speed. And he's tripped up back at the 40-yard line. Getting down there quickly. Number 19 for the Houston Oilers was Willie Alexander, only shaken up just a short while ago. You know, Marcus Welby has a fellow doctor as a patient this week. He gets worried when the man, convinced he has a terminal disease, tries to provide a mother for his son by a hasty marriage. Patrick O'Neill is the guest star, and you can get the whole story on Marcus Welby, MD, tomorrow at 10, 9 o'clock Central Time, here on ABC. First and 10, the Raiders. And here comes Marv Hubbard. And he's met by number 90, George Webster. And oddly enough, Oakland, having dominated this game, are still well within striking distance of the Houston Oilers if they could do anything at all. They lead 13-0. Let's watch George Webster, Don. Good one.
He's had knee trouble in his career. He now plays just the weak linebacker or away from the tight end. He's a very knowledgeable football player. It's good pursuit coming in from the inside.
All right, on second down and 9, LaMonica. Looking, was picked off. That's Zeke Moore, who came in to replace Willie Alexander. And Biletnikoff made a fine move. I believe Zeke Moore might have been able to hold on to that ball if Biletnikoff had not wrestled him for it. Well-traveled Kent Nix, who's the backup man to Dan Pastorini. And now he's working for Ma Bell.
Yeah. Handling those phones. He could get in there before the night's over, Frank.
He's won a lot of games coming off the bench. Last year in Chicago. Monaco, 3rd and 9. Fires out to Clarence Davis. He has the first down. And he moves inside the 45. Stopped finally by Ken Houston, number 29, and number 58, Ron Pritchard.
It's a good job by LaMonica coming back in the pocket. Good job by his offensive line, pushing the defensive lineman past him. But he set good, solid, deep. Lineman came by, he came up. Of course, you just saw that on the screen. I don't know what I'm doing.
Clarence Davis, who played his college football for the number 1 team in the nation at the moment at the University of Southern California. He had as a blocking back. Young man who scored 3 touchdowns for the Giants yesterday, Charlie Evans. And Clarence Davis was some kind of running back. And Darryl LaMonica kills the clock and kills the 3rd quarter. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Raiders 13, the Houston Oilers nothing. We'll return after this word from our local stations.
Enjoy the Paul Lynde Show Wednesday night at 8, 7 o'clock Central Time. Wait till Houston gets the ball. 15 minutes to play. The Oakland Raiders leading the Houston Oilers 13-0 from the Astrodome. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell, Don Meredith. And a game that's been really highlighted by errors more than anything else. The Oakland Raiders with a touchdown just before the half. LaMonica to Biletnikoff have the 13-0 lead. 2 field goals by George Blanda. First and 10 for Oakland. LaMonica throwing again to Biletnikoff, and it bounced off the shoulders of Zeke Moore.
It's 2 that's hit Moore. He was right on Biletnikoff. He had him pretty well covered.
Let me ask you something. Well, we'll take another look at this, Don. You call it, and then I want to ask you a question.
Dale got pretty good pressure this time. He threw the ball actually before Biletnikoff had made any moves, but you'll see Zeke Moore running right with him as as he's coached to do. He was turning back, and as he turned back, the ball had already been thrown and hit him in the shoulder.
When Houston gets the ball again, would you put a veteran like Kent Nix in and take the youngster out who's having such trouble?
I don't really think I would, Howard, unless Pastorini is hurt. He's still got a lot to learn. He's learning the hard way. And if things keep up, he could very well get hurt out there.
2nd and 10 from the 44. Clarence Davis moves inside the 40, stopped there by George Webster.
Remember, Gift, there were a series of games last year when Nix was performing for the Bears. Concannon was hurt. Bobby Douglas was having his troubles, and Kent Nix won some games for the Bears in the late going of those games.
He's been around. I saw him play well for Pittsburgh.
I saw him play well for Pittsburgh. When I was still playing, he beat Dallas almost single-handedly one time in Pittsburgh. He's has played good football. I think the thing Coach Peterson's concerned with, though, is establishing something here, and he's chosen to go with Pastorini. And he's getting his knocks tonight.
Right now on 3rd and 4. LaMonica completes to Biletnikoff.
Wow.
Zeke Moore makes the stop, but it's first down Oakland. Fred Biletnikoff in his 8th year out of Florida State, where he played for the Houston Oilers coach, Bill Peterson. Good block by Clarence Davis. He's taking George Webster, and he's giving away a lot of pounds.
And his helmet, and his headgear. A lot of pounds in his headgear.
You saw him go after it, too.
That's right.
1st and 10 Oakland. They're at the 30-yard line of the Houston Oilers. 13:30 remains in the game. Here comes Clarence Davis. Moving down to the 27. Stopped there by Leo Brooks. Ago, we didn't have the opportunity to tell you, but Zeke Moore, who came in replacing Willie Alexander, is seeing his first action in weeks. And if he appeared to be a little rusty, not turning around maybe to make the interception, it's because he really hasn't played. He had a broken arm in the early preseason. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 27. This is LaMonica. Ciani. Touchdown. Mike Ciani.
That ball was right on the mark again. Ciani coming in from the other side. Caught it just before he went out on the sidelines.
Benny Johnson covering all the way. And this ball well thrown by Darryl LaMonica.
Not anything fancy, Frank. You'll just see him come down, make a slight move, coming across the middle. He gets a step, and that ball was perfectly thrown.
Mike's having a big rookie year, collecting touchdown passes from Darryl. You'll remember in that losing effort to Pittsburgh, Mike caught 2. Then Darryl kept it up.
And this is George Blanda. Automatic, and he's done that over 700 times. So the Oakland Raiders go out in front of the Houston Oilers now, 20-0. And we'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
Five cars, 5 dead batteries. But we're going to start all 5, all at once, with one battery. A 2-year-old Sears Die-Hard battery. The Die-Hard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. It lives up to its name. Sold only at Sears.
Let one beautiful Swede introduce you to 2 more. Borkum Riff, the bourbon-flavored tobacco from Sweden, now introduces Borkum Riff cherry liqueur-flavored tobacco and Borkum Riff cognac-flavored tobacco. 3 beautiful Swedes, all called Borkum Riff. Borkum Riff. Yeah.
This is the hand of George Webster, the Oilers' outstanding linebacker. And he had left the game prior to that last play, and he appears to have re-injured that hand. Right now, the Oakland Raiders, with 12 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the game, have that 20-0 lead. And deep, Lindsey Cole on your right, Willie Rogers on your left. Jerry DePoyster to kick off. This will be Lindsey Cole. And down goes Lindsey Cole at the 15.
Trying to put this affair into some sort of perspective, Frank. It's obvious what the Oilers need. They need to develop their young quarterback who is not reflecting his real potential tonight or anything like it. They need running backs. They need strength in the offensive line. The Oakland Raiders have not played a good game, but they've got outstanding personnel. Some believe perhaps the best 40-man squad in the game. And what they need is a victory. It's like Stram's team in the game we had against New Orleans when Kansas City needed the victory at any cost because they were down at the moment.
Pastorini stays in. Hands off to Robert Holmes. Holmes with running room moves over the 25 to the 27. But the Oakland Raiders will be willing to give up the yardage on the ground. They know the only way they can get hurt is by the pass, and Dan Pastorini hasn't even threatened tonight. He's 2 of 16 for 36 yards. Jim Byrne, 81, is in, replacing Charlie Joyner. Byrne left, Burrow to the right. 1st and 10, the Oilers. They're at their own 27-yard line. Pastorini underthrows, and Burrow almost comes up with a great catch. And had he hit him, he might have gone a long way, Don.
He really could have, Frank, and of course, I guess I'm looking at it from the quarterback standpoint. I think he could have had it. Let's take a look at it. It was a little bit low, but, a night like tonight, sure have been nice for you to pick that thing up because, as you said, he had a look at that stride that guy's got. He sure can run with it when he catches it. The ball was a little bit low, but he could have picked that thing up. It would have been a foot race.
2nd down and 10. Now at the 27. The Oilers, with no points on the scoreboard, trailing 20-0. They like this play, and Oakland has finally figured that one out.
Yeah,
Robert Holmes
sure
go
have.
down. Phil Villapiano, you can fool him a couple times, but you better not try it more than twice. Good heady ball player, second-year man out of Bowling Green. We saw him on Monday night a year ago against Cleveland when he had a great night.
He is a good heady linebacker, and he's got the kind of quick action that is perhaps the best index of what Detroit throws at you with that trio of Newmoff, number 50, Lucci 53, and Wayne Walker 55, and you'll be seeing those guys next Monday night as the Lions go against the Green Bay Packers in a fight for first place, Central Division NFC.
3rd down and 15. Dan Pastorini still having his problems. Going deep. Burrow is there. Burrow was back there.
I couldn't see again, but it looked as if Tatum didn't tip it, it hit Burrow again. One thing Pastorini can't do, he can throw it a long way.
Oh, he just one-handed that. Number 48 is Nehemiah Wilson.
I thought it was Tatum. I'm sorry.
Well, it hurts when it hits you in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So Dan Pastorini, who's been punting well tonight,
didn't hurt me.
Will have another opportunity to punt. 4th and 15. That's really the story of this game. Pastorini, 3 of 19, 31 yards.
Hometown crowd seems to have read that story because they're beginning to filter out of this Astrodome and head back to various parts of Harris County.
Pastorini doing the punting. Deep, 21, Cliff Branch. Dropping back there, number 43, Georgia Atkinson. Now the single safety. The hometown boy. Cliff Branch, 9'3" sprinter from Colorado. Well, I should not have said it. High and short is Pastorini's punt. Goes out to Oakland's 45-yard line. So that's the story at this moment at the Astrodome. The Raiders 20, the Oilers nothing, 10:30 remaining in the game. We'll be back after this message.
Gillette makes a better double edge now than the one your father used.
The smoothest edge we can put on a blade for the smoothest shave we can put on your face. The Platinum Plus blade. And someday, Gillette will make even a better blade for your son. The more things change, the more they stay the same. We made the first blade, and we're still the first blade. Gillette. Platinum Plus.
I wouldn't use an antiperspirant if I didn't have to, but I have to. I perspire. It's just that a lot of antiperspirants smell artificial. But not this new one. It's new Right Guard Natural Scent Antiperspirant. It smells light, clean, like after a shower, and it helps keep me dry all day. New Right Guard Natural Scent Antiperspirant. I like the way it works. I like the way it smells.
This is the rookie coach, Bill Peterson, and he's upset. His ball club has not had a good night.
You can understand it, especially after the hope provoked by last week's upset victory.
Oakland now with the football, and there's a story, 232-73. Oakland doing nothing dramatic, but still moving the football. Have run up 20 points.
We talked about the players Houston needs, Frank, to build that team for the future, the positions and all of that. Something else they need, and this bears upon what we touched on early in the first half, continuity of leadership. 8 coaches in 12 years, it's impossible to have that. If Bill Peterson gets his shot over a span of years, and I think you'll see results.
You saw Marv Hubbard coming to the sidelines. He was shaken up after he carried that ball and looked like he was a little mad at linebacker Floyd Rice. He picked up 5 yards, a second down now and 5. And here comes Clarence Davis. Pat Holmes in on the stop.
Not a bad night there.
He's had a good night. Considering he goes back to a time when he could not make this Raider team. That was back in 1968.
That's when Giff and I went up to Hartford to watch him play for the Hartford Charter Oaks, and Giff espied the greatness of the youngster and called Al Davis and said, get him back.
Did I do that?
No.
Well, anyway, he led the league at Hartford in that Atlantic Coast Conference, came back and has made it big with Oakland. Davis picks up the first down. His first and 10 Oakland at the 44 of Houston. Tillman makes the stop on number 40, Pete Banaszak.
This is the time of the ball game when Oakland's going to be obviously running the ball. There's no need for them to really put it in the air. Puts it back, and it's also a real test to a young Houston defensive team. These guys have got to be tired now. They look at the scoreboard. Their offense has not been productive tonight. And you could see the team fall apart. Hopefully they won't, because you hate to see any team do that.
Second down and 5. The ball at the 39 of the Houston Oilers. Siani left, Biletnikoff right, and Don's right. Darryl Lamonica wants to run it out. Pete Banaszak gets the call, picks up about 2 yards. Kent Nix watching from the sidelines, communicating with scouts up in the box.
He's asking them, does it look any different up there than it does down here?
No.
They say no.
All right, it'll be third down, a long 3. The ball at the 36.5-yard line. Darryl Lamonica puts Biletnikoff out to the right. He'll face Alexander. Siani is out to the left to meet Benny Johnson. Both backs flooding right. And the attempt goes out to Biletnikoff. A flag is down.
I believe they caught it up. Oakland guy. Well, they caught him holding. If that's not right, then I'll just go ahead and miss another one. But I think that's what it is.
All right, Houston will probably take the penalty.
And Oakland will probably throw a 40-yard touchdown.
Now, Houston, of course, wanting to move Oakland out of field goal range. Down will remain third down. There's the holding call. Don, you got it.
1 out of 13. Thank you, Chet.
Third down, about 19 now. The ball back at the 49-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Out in front, 20-0, 7:40 on the clock. This time Siani comes right. And going going deep. And just tipped away, intended for Cliff Branch. Kenny Houston, a real football player from these Oilers, was back there to make the deflection. Zeke Moore, number 22, also back helping.
Interesting how he retains his individual excellence, Kenny Houston, in the face of a team performance that's been so dispiriting. You know, Don?
Yes. That is amazing. They've really been dispiriting.
And he'll drop back to accept the punt of DePoyser. Kenny Houston led the AFC last year in interceptions with 9. Here's DePoyster. This time Kenny Houston will call for the fair catch at the 13-yard line. 38-yard punt. So the Houston Oilers send their offensive team back out to give it another try. They trail 20-0 with 7:26 remaining in the game. We'll be back after this message.
The American worker. Today, some people are saying that he just doesn't measure up. That he can't build products with the kind of careful workmanship his father's generation did. Today, some people say you have to go overseas to get quality like that. Well, to that kind of thinking, we politely answer, bunk. Every colored TV Zenith makes is built right here in the United States by Americans like these. As far as we're concerned, our own people here at home have proven that you can't do better than honest American craftsmanship. Measure up? We think the American worker more than measures up. It's Zenith people like these who've made it possible for us to say since 1927. At Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on.
Back at the Astrodome, the Oakland Raiders looking very much as though they're going to stay 1/2 game off the pace of Kansas City in the AFC's Western Division race and tied with San Diego. They lead the Houston Oilers 20-0, 7:26 remaining. And this young man, Dan Pastorini, has had a really difficult night. He has to throw, trailing 20-0. A flag goes down. Charlie Joyner can't hang on to it. He's hit by Jack Tatum, number 31. A flag down at the line of scrimmage. Offsides, Oakland. George Blanda started the scoring in the first quarter, hitting from 46 yards out.
This is a play before, a little on the kick we had before. A little battle working here between Alexander and Maxwell. Let's take a look at it. 42 on your left and 19. What's this right here? He says, wait a minute, fella. Alexander's 19. Wow. You know, we're looking awful hard for some action for you folks.
On first down and 5. And picked off by number 43, George Atkinson.
And for those of you who have just joined us, Oakland leads this contest 20-0.
And as I started to say, they have not been too exciting doing it. They've been, as a matter of fact, kind of methodical.
Now that you've mentioned it, Frank.
That's a fine interception. George Atkinson coming all the way across, taking it out of the hands of Alvin Reed. LaMonica is hit for a pair of touchdowns, one to Biletnikoff, another to Ciani. Blanda added another field goal from 35 yards out. First and 10, Oakland. They'll move from the Houston Oilers 30-yard line. Here comes Clarence Davis as a flag goes down. Davis spinning away to the 20-yard line. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Backfield in motion against Oakland. It appeared as if Hubbard was the man who was ahead of the count.
What you thinking about this contest, Andy?
That about sums it up. No, it's been unfortunate, Howard, because the Oilers were very excited about last week. They obviously played good enough football to beat a good football team in the New York Jets. They They know they are not a contending team this year, but they're certainly hopeful of being representative. And tonight's really not a very representative night, as you pointed out. So I know they're very disappointed. And as you say again, Oakland has not played that well either.
1st and 15, Oakland. From Houston's 35-yard line. Pete Banaszak. Banaszak stopped there by Phil Croyle, who has replaced, number 59 is Croyle, and he's replaced George Webster. And I believe there might have been a face mask called. Which that this year is only a 5-yard penalty, unless it's deliberate, considered flagrant violation. And this one will be marked off 15 yards.
Must have been flagrant.
Yep. If they deem it to be purposeful, that's it. 15.
Personal foul. And coming up next Monday night, two fine football teams and quite a race in that Central Division. Well, how about Minnesota?
Hard to understand, Giff. Sometimes I think Francis Dawkinson is snake bit. He moved that team right back up the field after Quazzo's touchdown pass to Moore. Positioned for the field goal, and then as we showed at halftime, that Roger Worley trick.
Pete Banaszak on first down. Another flag goes down. But it really has made quite a race out of that Central Division. We'll be in Detroit next Monday night for Detroit and Green Bay.
I think the thing to remember, especially when you're talking about that black and blue division, Frank, being 1-3, Minnesota is still an outstanding football team. Everybody in the country knows it, and they're not out of that race yet. There's a lot of time to go.
Illegal procedure, this time against Oakland. I believe that's 3 straight penalties on 3 consecutive plays.
You agree, Giff, about Minnesota?
Very definitely. And, of course, their loss was to St. Louis, out of their division.
Of course, we pick up Minnesota the week after the Green Bay-Detroit game.
Well, I'll say it again. It's still 1st and 15. It's been that way for about 4 or 5 minutes now. 6:39 remaining in the game. Here comes Clarence Davis. Keeps his feet. Moves inside the 25 to the 23. Zeke Moore wound up with the football, but they'll bring it back. Ron Pritchard in on the stop. And this man has been really busy.
He really has. Nobody came out to get him that time, so he had kind of a free run of it. So those middle linebackers kind of wind up before they hit those folks. You see him throw those arms back.
Clarence Davis is feeling the effects of that.
I think he caught that forearm right across the forehead.
You know, linebackers always are, we're kind of weird, Don.
Yeah, well, you got to watch them.
They're a special breed. You know, they make them just right where they can move fast, and yet they're still big enough to carve you up. Pritchard now with 8 individual tackles, 6 assists. I'm going to hear a lot about this young man. 2nd down and 12 now for Oakland. And at tight end is Bob Moore, number 88. Banaszak is back in. Charlie Smith, the other setback. Banaszak 40, Smith 23. Lamonica in trouble, gets it away. Ciani holds on to it. Now he drops it. I don't believe this game.
It didn't happen, did it?
Houston's ball, and who got it? Willie Alexander, I believe, finally came up with the ball. It'll be 1st and 10, the Oilers, from their 7-yard line.
Here it is, just a little kind of turn-in pattern. A little low. Almost dropped it, as you pointed out. Comes back in. Man alive.
So the Houston Oilers take over. 1st and 10 on their own 7. We'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.
We've proved in test after test how smooth our big Mercury Marquis can ride. But how about our smaller Mercury, the personal size Montego MX Brougham? Karen and Zach Taylor, whose hobby is home movies, will help the Nationwide Consumer Testing Institute evaluate the Montego's ride. While Karen drives through scenic California horse country, Zach will shoot with one movie camera. An identical camera mounted on the axle will film the same scenes. The wheel camera shows how rough the road really is, while Zach's camera gives clear proof how smooth and steady Montego rides. Montego's big car ride is built to Lincoln Mercury's high standards on an extra wide stance and the same type high stability suspension system as our most expensive luxury cars. 73 Mercury Montego, built better to ride better.
Pictures don't lie.
At the sign of the cat.
The Houston Oilers down 20-0. Get the football back. Ciani fumbled. Willie Alexander recovered. Dan Pastorini going all the way on a very bad night for the Houston Oilers. Uh-oh. And Pastorini gets out over the 10 to the 12. And he's dropped there by big number 84, Tony Klein.
Clarence Davis, 28 of Oakland, who went out just a couple of seconds ago. The report was only dazed. If there were any need to use him again, they could. I don't know if we'll see him again under these circumstances. And laying it right on the line. And I think we've been pretty honest about it. This has not been a good football game. But we think we've got two great games coming up over the next weekend. Texas against Oklahoma in college football on Saturday. Green Bay against Detroit next Monday night.
Texas are
second down and 4. Pastorini, and it's deflected, and it's picked off by Otis Sistrunk. And you can pick up the story, Howard. Sistrunk has scored.
Al Davis was in Los Angeles, and they went to the scrimmage, you see. And that's the... I don't remember what happened after that. I remember that part of it.
Dandy, that was a problem at SMU.
No.
Retention.
Sistrunk did not go to SMU. He said he didn't go to college. I remember that part of the story.
No, Otis didn't go to college. And Al Davis did go to a scrimmage at the invitation of Tommy Crosswell.
Can I finish a little of that story? He happens to come from a very large family in Columbus, Georgia, and he had to work, and he had to take care of that family. And then he finally went up to Norfolk and played up there in the Continental League. And he decided he wanted to try out the big time. So he comes up with the interception. Otis Sistrunk. From the 14-yard line, here comes Clarence Davis. And look at him break tackles. He'll score.
Well, they put him back in. We said he was only dazed. I don't know what the exigencies were that dictated the need for another touchdown, but John Madden, the coach, decided to use Davis again, and that was the result.
Coming off a broken bone in the shoulder, playing his first game in 7 weeks. And he adds a lot of spark to the Oakland attack. Good kick return man, was second in the American Football Conference last year, returning kickoffs.
Southern California has had a lot of great runners in its history.
That they have.
I think beginning with a fellow who wore number 16 and is immediately to my left.
And you're looking at another 16, knuckling it through for the conversion. George Blanda.
Number 14 is warming up on the sideline. Kent Nix is going to pull this one out of the fire.
You think he's excited about coming in?
Don't you know he's thrilled?
27-0, the Raiders over the Oilers. And it'll keep that American Football Conference Western race alive. Harlan Savari with some real good troops down in San Diego. And, of course, Kansas City off on a 3-1 record thus far. There's Bill Peterson, great college record at Florida State. Spent 1 year at Rice. Turned down several professional offers. Wound up here in Houston. And as Howard mentioned, I think will probably turn out to be a very fine coach. I know his 5 boys are watching around the nation. Jerry DePoyster set to kick. On your left, Willie Rogers. Lindsey Cole on the right, and this will be Cole. The back of the end zone, he'll stay there. All right, will we see Ken Nix, or will we again see Pastorini? 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the game. And we are going to see Kent Nix. I wonder what you tell a quarterback, Don, in a situation like this.
Well, we got to establish the run.
Be careful, one thing.
Is establish the run, son. Mix them up. Call your own plays and have fun. He said, you kidding me, coach?
All right, Kent Nix at quarterback. 6 years. He's a Texas Christian boy. Well, Charlie Joyner's offside. Kent Nix, maybe justifiably so for the little action he's seen, bobbles the snap from center. There's our game for the evening. Oilers Oilers, 4 interceptions.
Isn't that amazing?
Raiders have lost 4 fumbles. That equalizes that. Is that all the block kicks we had? Only 3?
A couple of them were blocked twice.
4:25 remaining in the game. Raiders, a good, solid football team.
They are that. Tonight's not representative of their abilities. They get a victory they need. They're tied with San Diego now. Half game off the pace with Kansas City. And with San Diego so quickly rebuilt and so wisely so by Hall and Swarry, we could have a great 3-way race in the Western Division of the AFC.
That number 74 in the defensive line is Tom Keating. Flag goes down. The pass is completed. The number 89, Alvin Reed, but the flag is downfield. We have seen a few penalties tonight also. Holding against Oakland.
55, Dan Connors, 74, Tom Keating in there. The 2 great veterans who have been benched in favor of the youngsters you talked about. There's Johnny Madden, who at 32 when he started coaching Oakland was, of course, the youngest coach in the National Football League. And Johnny's record and Oakland's hold record is about as good a record as you could want to find, Frank, because they've been in 4 championship games in the last 5 years.
But he has. He's done a terrific job. And he has gradually changed the nature of this team. He has a lot of youth. This is Kent Nix. Firing is picked off by number 48, Nehemiah Wilson. And you may as well have some fun, Nehemiah. And out of bounds on the 2-yard line. Nehemiah Wilson, all 6 feet, 180 pounds of him.
Well, of course, when a team deteriorates, it can go all the way. We'll take another look at it. It's not really important anymore in the evening's proceedings. You're watching Kent Nix looking out, his projected receiver slipping, leaving the field wide open for Nehemiah Wilson. And Rhett Dawson was the intended receiver. Nehemiah cutting across field, picking up downfield blocking. And as you see, staggering down and going out of bounds on the 2-yard line.
Howard, you sound so excited.
Hey, really. Let's tell it like it is.
All right, let's go.
Stabler at quarterback. First and goal from the 2. Left-handed, wide open, number 88, Bob Moore, who generally plays his football when Raymond Chester is hurt or on 3rd and short yardage. Stabler's had quite a night.
1 for 1. Listen, Giff, you weren't with us our first year. We saw a team play this badly that wound up in the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys, when St. Louis really destroyed them.
I remember that.
St. Louis will never forget it.
Yeah.
Raiders 33, Blanda on to make it 34. Oilers nothing.
Well, we've got a big one coming up. What better way to spend a Saturday afternoon than with NCAA college football? And most of you this coming Saturday will be seeing the annual classic between Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, what an offense Oklahoma has with little number 30, Greg Pruitt, rated number 1 in the nation at the moment. Great in the use of the wishbone tee. Jack Mildren already just a memory, number 12 with the Baltimore Colts. Texas always so great under the leadership of Darryl Royal.
Come on, orange and white.
Jerry DeForster will kick off. The Raiders have extended their lead now 34-0. Willie Rogers on your left, Lindsey Cole on your right. This is Lindsey Cole, 1 yard deep. Well, you could almost expect it. He'll stay in.
For those of you who are just joining us, we have 3 minutes, 52 seconds left in this game. It's hard to explain.
I can tell you that Oakland has not been dramatic. They have been methodical. Darryl LaMonica has thrown for 2 touchdown passes. Kenny Stabler threw for a touchdown pass. George Blanda hit for 2 field goals, 46 and 35, and there is our time remaining. Kent Nix is now quarterbacking in the place of Dan Pastorini, and here comes Robert Holmes. Robert the Tank Holmes, upended by Jack Tatum. Holmes came to the Oilers in a trade that sent Willie Frazier to Kansas City. Gained 323 yards here last year. His great years were 68 and 69. He had over 800 yards in 68, over 600 in 69. Jim Byrne brings in the play from head coach Bill Peterson. Burns, number 81. First and 10, Houston. They move now from their own 37. Watch out, Kent. Horace Jones nails Kent Nix. And you had a very good chance to see Horace Jones almost unobstructed as he came directly in on the blind side of Kent Nix. Ken Burrow has a dent in his shoulder pad on the left.
Yeah, they tried him around his knees. He missed them there. Up around his shoulders. He missed one there. They haven't found this. They hit him right between those two zeros.
Second down now and 17. Ball at the 31. And Nix underthrows to Robert Holmes.
Right there is a vivid picturization of the excitement attendant upon this game.
I guess we'll have some more shots of the crowd for you in a little while, folks. And they're number one in the nation. All right, back here at halftime. Okay, Kent, let's get this thing going. Be a good Texas Christian, boy.
Third down and 17. It's off the screen to Holmes. And Otis Sistrunk. Dan Connors, they all meet Robert Holmes.
Astrodome, the eighth wonder of the world.
We've got 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, and then we've only got 7 days till we watch Green Bay against Detroit, fellows. I'm looking forward to it.
Good, Howard.
Scott Hunter, Greg Landry. Two pretty good young quarterbacks, Don.
Yes, sir.
On fourth down, Pastorini back in to punt. I wonder if the New Orleans Stadium is going to be the ninth wonder of the world.
That's called a Superdome.
They claim you can put this one in that one.
What is it supposed to seat? 80-something, 84,000?
About 102. Okay. Well, we have timeout on the field. The Raiders out in front of the Oilers, 34-0. We'll be back after this message.
Minnesota snow country, site of a United States Auto Club snow tire test. Sears steel-belted radial snow tire challenges two of America's leading snow tires. Test conditions are rigid. Each set of tires is mounted on the same car and driven by the same professional driver. Each test is filmed individually. In a series of starting tests, one snow tire averages 8% better in starting traction. The Sears steel-belted radial snow tire. And in a series of stopping tests, the Sears snow tire averages 11% better in stopping traction. What makes this snow tire so different? Snow gripping radial design, two flexible steel belts, and a deep biting tread. For starting traction, for stopping traction, for all around winter driving. Get the Sears steel belted radial snow tire. Only at Sears.
Remain in the game. Dan Pastorini then to punt. He was the second leading punter coming into tonight's game, averaging 47. He's dropped off a little, even in punting. Cliff Branch drops deep. Little rookie from Colorado with the great speed. And this one draws a little ice. He really hit it. That'll boost the average a little.
Sir.
Yes, it will. Down to the 6-yard line. 63-yard punt. That should really help the average. Inside the 2-minute Mark, we'd like to thank our statistician, Jerry Kepstein, our spotter, John Breen. That's our statistician right there.
That's our average viewer at this point, and probably has been for some time past.
I wouldn't linger too long, though.
That kid could have been born in the stadium. I don't know.
1:30, the clock moving. Oakland with a 34-0 lead. Terribly excited about getting things underway. Sabre now in at quarterback.
I think you ought to set the offense, Frank.
And then set the Houston defense, Frank.
And then let's have a shot of the Astrodome.
You know how much fun you guys are in a game like this.
Yeah, I know.
Garland Boyette is in the lineup.
There it is. It's always a fascinating shot. Back to the opening of our show. As we pan down to the gridiron itself. The AstroTurf at which you're looking, the subject of so much controversy, debate, and discussion. The action resumes. Gifford tells about it.
2nd down and 7. Banaszak for the first down. That should be enough to get rid of the clock.
Pete Banaszak, number 40, steady-going performer, underrated through all the years.
And Garland Boyette made the stop. We can tell you that our executive producer of NFL Monday Night Football is Roone Arledge. Tonight's game was produced by Chet Forty and Dennis Lewin, and directed by Chet Forty and Joe Assetti. Our associate director, Jack Gallivan. Our technical directors, Bill Morris and John Broderick. Assistants to the producers, Jim Cute and Howard Katz. Engineering supervisor, Roy Robbins. Our unit manager, Bob Ellsworth. As the clock ticks off, and she keeps her eyes on the football game, which now is over. The Oakland Raiders have won the game 34-0 over the Houston Oilers. We'll be back at the Astrodome after this message.